I'm Richard Simcock. I'm a cancer specialist, and I work with a team that always do their best for all of our patients. But we can't be there around the clock to support them. And that's why I recommend the Macmillan Online Community. It's a safe, anonymous online forum open 24 hours a day, and everyone there knows what it's like to have cancer. As a doctor, I do everything I can, but I know that when I can't be there, they can be.
Search Macmillan Online Community.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.
Welcome to Max Millions, the casino with winnings that are in a completely different universe. Max Millions. Make a splash and win up to 500 free spins playing Storm to Riches, plus dazzling daily jackpots on fluffy favourites and Big Bass Splash. Take your seat at maxmillions.com. New players only, £10 minimum deposit, terms apply, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Please play responsibly.
You can't do much in under 5 minutes. Boil an egg? Sure. Cook a roast dinner? No chance. But comparing car insurance prices with mustard.co.uk? Easy. See what you could save in just a few minutes. Click mustard.co.uk. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
Together we can win.
Parents start to feel themselves that they can't provide.
Spend my whole life chasing good times.
The rest of the world is celebrating, there's lights everywhere.
We also know of parents who don't eat. The kids are obviously the priority.
Just being able to buy clothes for our daughter was huge.
When the road is calling home and my heart is full of hope.
Our goal, to help make Christmas better for those who would otherwise miss out.
Cash for Kids helps us make the difference for these young people.
And they had allowed the child £5 for the voucher.
They can actually have a Christmas rather than just a Thursday.
You felt as though you had gave them £500. They were so grateful for it.
0141 565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Yes, welcome along to Clyde One Super Scoreboard a little bit earlier than usual because it is one of the most special days in the Clyde One Super Scoreboard calendar. It is our Cash for Kids Sports Auction. You will not miss a beat when it comes to this afternoon's football action. And although we take our football very seriously, this is one day where we acknowledge that some things are even more important. And by that, we mean the chance to raise vital money for children right on our doorstep that need our help the most. They need it all year, to be quite truthful about it. However, especially at this time of the year, times are tough. We're going to try and all club together this afternoon to give children a Christmas to remember. But we need your help. We've got some unbelievable prizes running all throughout the afternoon. Some money can't buy items, some collector's items. There's always a bit of unpredictability on sports auction day, things coming and going, bids changing by the second. It's always an exciting day to be a part of, and hopefully by 6 o'clock we will have raised a lot of money for children that need it. Hugh Keevins.
Yeah, absolutely. We get caught in our own wee world. Wilfred Nancy and his green and white trainers. Who cares? Danny Rule and his rotten defenders. Who cares? There's a big world out there, a serious world, and we have an awful problem. In our part of the world, in the west of Scotland, there is far too much deprivation. It's a scandal. But this radio station, for decades, has had its finest hours by raising so much money for Cash for Kids, and we're going to do it again today.
Yes, indeed we are. Now, if you've listened before, you will know it takes a certain format, and it'll be similar to that today. I'm going to, in a second, run you through a couple of prizes that you can bid on all afternoon. So they will be running throughout the duration of the show, and then we'll launch a different batch every hour. So from 2 till 3, 3 till 4, 4 till 5 and so on. We'll give you different prizes that you can win along the way, so you're going to have to stay tuned all afternoon. Make sure you don't miss out on anything that you think is right up your street. Of course, Part of the reason we do it at this time of year is not just to raise money for children that need it at Christmas, but maybe you could be buying these gifts for a Christmas present, a collector's item, whatever it is. Sell it for all we care. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know if there are any rules.
You've said it now.
On this day of all days.
And well said.
It's all about raising the money for the children that need it. So jot down the number. You can get in touch all afternoon if you want to place your bids. And listen, don't forget, we are acutely aware that not everybody can afford to go and throw lots of money at these auction items, so hopefully there's a little bit of something for everyone. We've got some text to win competitions which are far more manageable. There's a silent auction running over on the website as well, so trying to keep everyone involved. But like we said, certain apologies for those things, but the biggest priority by a mile is just doing whatever we can to raise money for the children that need it. So let me tell you all about our all-day prizes first. You have until the end of the day to get involved with these. My only advice, don't leave it too long. What's the point in that? Get in nice and early and get them going. The one that I've been telling you about all week, it is the star of the show, because, as I mentioned a second ago, I really appreciate not everybody can afford to place big bids on expensive items. However, how would you like to win a brand new car, a JQ5? It is worth tens of thousands of pounds. It is a brand new car, for goodness sake, and all you have to do is donate £5 to Cash for Kids. Text the word CAR, C-A-R, to 84901. That donates £5 to Cash for Kids, and you automatically go into the draw to win the brand new JQ5. I know times are tough for loads of people. I know you might not be able to bid hundreds and thousands of pounds on the big items later on, but a £5 to Cash for Kids and you might win yourself a brand new car. Those lines close tonight 6 p.m, so don't hang around. And Gordon DL, you even went to test drive it. What are they in for?
Yeah, absolute brilliant prize for a terrific cause, and I've got to say, after driving it, Gordon, I'm looking at purchasing one myself.
And I personally contacted Arnold Clark to thank them, first of all, for their generosity in putting up the prize, but also to request that they make sure the seats are deep cleaned before it gets... So don't be put off by the fact that Gordon Dale's been in it. It will be cleaned for you, I promise. But text CAR to 84901. Lines close today 6 p.m. It is over 18s only. Every penny goes to Cash for Kids. You can cancel the donation and remain entered by replying cancel within 60 minutes. All the rules are at Clyde1.com. And like I said on that one, that is big thanks to Arnold Clark. I say that's the start of the show because everybody can get involved in that. A £5 to Cash for Kids, you might win yourself a brand new car. How's about this for timing, Hugh Keevins? Every single year, as long as I can remember, we've offered a signed Scotland shirt. Now that's great at any time, but let's be serious now. This is the Scotland team that has just qualified for the World Cup. The first time the men are going since 1998. Remember the excitement of Denmark, the excitement of the World Cup draw, people planning their trip. How would you like to get your hands on a signed Scotland top by the squad that secured the place at next season's competition, kindly donated by the Scottish FA? That is the second of our all-day prizes, and if you want to bid on that, you have to give the Cash for Kids team a call on 0141 565 2468. Write that number down for me, because that's what's going to be the hotline for you all afternoon. 0141 565 2468. Think about that as a collector's item. Think how you felt when Kenny McLean's ball slow motion dropped over the head of Kasper Schmeichel. Think how you'll feel when Scotland line up against Brazil in Miami next summer and you could have a top signed by the squad that got us there.
You become a tourist event in yourself, because if you're wearing that strip signed by those players, then the people who are going in their tens of thousands to the US will want to see you.
Would you wear it?
Yeah.
I'll be keeping it in a nice wee case. But anyway, that's your second of your all-day prizes. And the third, this is a proper collector's item. It's not just for football fans, because we appreciate lots of people maybe want to look at other types of memorabilia. I've just had a look at this in the office. It is absolutely stunning. See if you're into sports memorabilia, maybe you've got a wee bit in the house, or you own a sports bar or whatever, or you want to provide one of the best Christmas gifts of all time. We have what can only be described as a massive frame in there. Within that frame, it is beautifully presented. Within the frame, there is an Andy Murray tennis racket, signed photo, tennis balls, It is beautiful. Need to try and get a picture of it put up, actually, because I'm possibly not quite doing it justice. But this is a real piece of sporting memorabilia. It's a framed tennis racket. It's from his Wimbledon win in 2013 as well. I mean, you don't need me to tell you, there's an argument for another day. Are we talking the greatest Scottish sportsman of all time?
Yeah.
Certainly in the conversation. So from the Wimbledon win in 2013, it's the racket, the signature, the pictures. It's decorated with some tennis balls as well. The frame itself is probably worth hundreds of pounds. It's that good. Genuinely, it's that good. So that's the third and final all-day prize. It is an absolute stunner. 0141565 2468. So to recap, your 3 all-day prizes: your brand new car, the JQ5, text car to 84901. You've got your signed Scotland shirt and your Andy Murray signed memorabilia, all available from now for bidding until 6pm. 0141565 2468. And all afternoon, the Cash for Kids Sports Auction is sponsored by Central Car Auction. So a big thanks to Jason Miller and the team for supporting today's event.
Well, I remember going to Wimbledon 1980 for the first time, and there was a Scottish girl playing there called Susie Mayer, and I knew her dad, and I thought, that'll be the last Scottish connection I'll ever get here. And then along he came, Judy Murray's boy, and a sensation, an out-and-out sensation. And I never thought, as I say, I would see a Scot playing there, a male playing there, never mind winning the thing. So to have Andy Murray's racket is truly an item to be cherished.
And after 9 years on this show, I don't have to give the Scotland shirt a hard sell. It's an easy one. It speaks for itself. You don't need me to tell you. World Cup, Scott, McTominay, McGinn, Robertson, Tierney, Shankland, McLean, all of those guys. Would you wear it?
Yeah.
Would you wear it to
Yeah,
Miami?
I'm with you.
No, I'd be locking it away.
And I would be telling everybody I was wearing it. I've got to say, it'd be brilliant. Imagine walking about Boston with that.
Would you?
Oh, without a shadow of doubt.
Walking tourist attraction.
My biggest way, Miami against the Brazilians. Certainly be proud to wear that.
I don't know if it's your size. I'll have a look at it.
Is it a medium? Because I'm doing a medium just now.
In the office.
Speedos to match, will you?
I don't need the Speedos, mate. It's a long strip.
The great thing about this, Cammy, is there's plenty more to come. We've got different hourly lots as the afternoon progresses, but how are those 3 for starters?
Oh, amazing. The Andy Murray one for me is just so iconic, and a brilliant prize to get yourself involved in. Hopefully people will get involved, because that's an amazing prize.
I'm going to get producer Ryan to go and bring it into the studio. It's in that wee office. See that wee room where Gordon Dalziel falls asleep sometimes and watches the telly? It's in there.
Top of a racket.
Bring it in, because it is absolutely wonderful. And we've started the show a little bit early. The great news is we're not going to really eat into the time of getting team news. We'll do that in just a second. Of course, we'll go round the grounds. We'll do all the usual. That's the beauty of the Cash for Kids Sports Auction. Here's the way to think about it. It's the fastest show of the year. It's the most important show of the year. The only downside for you and me is that I do much more talking this show than any other, and I lie in a darkened room after, but it's worth it, Hugh Keevins.
Without doubt. But can we pause for a moment and remember Mark Wilson, who's at Arbroath today? Have you had a look out the window at the weather? Can you imagine what Arbroath's like?
I thought that you were going to throw something in for Cash for Kids by him. I had a
sit
bit
next to him in the team bus home. Right, producer Ryan, bring this in. I know this doesn't necessarily work on radio, but I'm sure that somebody...
that is incredible.
I'm sure that somebody will get that up on social media. The Andy Murray piece is outstanding. Get the measuring tape out. Is that about a 50-inch frame, maybe?
That is,
something like that.
Actually, I'm not even. It is incredible when you see it. It's unbelievable.
I wasn't exaggerating. The frame itself is, I don't know, 40-50-inch frame, say, something like that. The frame itself will be worth hundreds of pounds. It's got the Wimbledon racket in the middle, 3 tennis balls, a lovely plaque that says Wimbledon champion Andy Murray, pictures signed. It is outstanding piece of equipment. So do get in touch if you want to bid for that, or the Scotland top, or fire your texts in for the brand new JQ5. You happy with that? I can see that in your man cave, Hugh Keevins.
But can you imagine me with a JQ5 though?
Well, no, because you need it. Why don't? It's funny, in the T's and C's for the car, it doesn't say that you need a driving licence. I suppose you could just
you
give
could
it to
let
somebody
him
else.
drive you about it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Hugh, honestly, it is a fantastic car. It is really worth the money.
Right, that is us then. We're up and running on the Cash for Kids Sports Auction, sponsored by Central Car Auctions. Those are your all-day prizes. Your JQ5, where you just text car to 84901, the Andy Murray memorabilia, and the signed Scotland shirt. Those are your 3 all-day prizes. 0141 565 2468 to bid. Thank you to Central Car Auctions. We will go round the grounds for team news ahead of today's football next.
Are you one of the 1.5 million UK customers that have used MedExpress for your healthcare journey? If not, accessing treatments for sexual health is now easier than ever. You don't need to visit your GP or pharmacy. Just complete a short online consultation to find the right treatment for you. We'll send your treatment directly to your door, delivered to you in discreet packaging with ongoing support from our experienced UK-based medical team. Take the first step towards managing your health concerns with confidence. Visit medexpress.co.uk to learn more.
Abandon your turkey. Rip your knitted jumper from your chest. The festive double bucket from $20.99. 6 pieces of original recipe chicken, 6 mini fillets, 2 large gravy, 4 regular fries, 1 large bottle drink. Get the deal, believe in chicken. Until the 4th of Jan, subject to availability. Participating restaurants only. See kfc.co.uk for T's and C's.
Together we can win.
Parents start to feel themselves that they can't provide.
Spend my whole life chasing good times.
The rest of the world is celebrating, there's lights everywhere.
We also know of parents who don't eat. The kids are obviously the priority.
Just being able to buy clothes for our daughter was huge.
When the road is calling home and my heart is full of hope.
Our goal, to help make Christmas better for those who would otherwise miss out.
Cash for Kids helps us make the difference for these young people.
And they had allowed the child £5 in the voucher.
They can actually have a Christmas rather than just a Thursday.
You felt as though you had gave them £500. They were so grateful for it.
0141 565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Yes, welcome to the Clyde One Super Scoreboard Cash for Kids Sports Auction. Hugh Keevins, Cammy Bell and Gordon Dalziel are in the studio. We've already given you some of the all-day prizes, and I'm pleased to say you're already getting your teeth stuck into them as well, so please keep doing that. You've got the brand new car to win, and that's the best one in terms of accessibility, because it's just a fiver to Cash for Kids. You're in the draw for the brand new JQ5 by texting car to 84901. Get your bids in on the Andy Murray signed memorabilia and the signed Scotland shirt. They will be running all day. Those are our 3 all-day prizes from now until the end of the show, so get your bids in, please. I am about to launch some prizes that will run between 2 and 3 o'clock, so these are the ones that you have to be really, really fast on. I know that sounds patronising, but come 3 o'clock, we close it, and that is it. We take no more bids on them, so if you want them, do not be outbid just because you hung around. And listen to this, we've got all parts of Glasgow and the West covered here. First and foremost, and this is of real time sensitivity, a Celtic package that includes cup final tickets. So tomorrow, right, you're going to have to be quick on this. Donated by PTS Clean. 2 tickets in the Celtic end, League Cup final, plus a signed Callum McGregor home shirt. Now, I think that's a stunning prize because I know there's been a bit of negativity this week, but look at it in a glass half full way. Wilfried Nancy, potentially his first trophy. No matter what happens, Callum McGregor, when he hangs it all up, will be one of the most decorated Celtic players of all time. So straight away, 2 Celtic end tickets for tomorrow, a signed Callum McGregor home shirt as well. That's a brilliant prize, and you need to get your bids in between now and 3 o'clock, not to be outdone. Will I shamelessly play them off against each other? Yes I will. Let's see if we can get a competition going between you Celtic and the Rangers fans. So the Rangers package has been donated by Rangers themselves. It is a signed Rangers shirt from this season and a Be the Pundit package. You get 2 media passes at the fixture of your choice, exclude Celtic and European games, so you get access to the media lounge pre and post match, and as we mentioned, that home shirt as well, and 2 director's box tickets for a match of your choice excluding Celtic. That's a serious prize, that. Ooh. Let's add all that up. So we've got 2 director's box tickets and 2 media passes as well, and the signed Rangers shirt donated by Rangers. So that's a fantastic prize.
That's all one gift.
That's all one prize. I mean, add that up, add the cost of that up, and get your bids in right now, please. And as I said, we have covered off all parts of Glasgow in the West, because we've got Kilmarnock Hospitality as well, donated by Kilmarnock. 2 tickets, Continental Lounge. You might even meet Cammy Bell there. No, I'll take that out in case it devalues it. Before the end of the season, you're a VIP guest of the club, but you meet some of the first team there, and a similar prize donated by Ayr United. See, no matter what side of that divide you're on as well. Brilliant. So hospitality for 2 at Ayr. Here's one that might interest more of you. No disrespect to the hardcore Ayr fans, that includes a meet and greet with Scott Brown. So you see where I'm going here? So maybe you've got Celtic leanings, maybe you'd want to,
I'll tell you what,
tap into that.
Meet Scott Brown.
Yes,
I'll give you £1,000 cash right now.
What's that, dear? Somebody checking him.
Hold on.
He's never done this before.
£1,000
to meet Scott Brown.
I'll give you £1,000.
He's going cash.
Wow, what is happening?
But listen,
have you picked her pockets?
Hey, listen, hold on. He might
Cash
get
for
outbid.
kids.
He might get outbid.
Go on.
But we've got our first bid of £1,000 from Hugh Keevins. That is a wonderful gesture from the man to my left. For the Ayr United hospitality, you get the chance to meet Scott Brown, 3-course meal, and the match of your choosing during this season. So get your bids in right now. That's your Celtic package, your Rangers package, your Killie package, and your Ayr package, running until 3 o'clock. So be fast, please. 0141 565 2468. You're some man. I can see it.
Look at me, the cash.
50s.
Oh, amazing.
Is it 50s?
It's 50s. Oh, what a man. What a man.
Listen,
look at that.
There's a good incentive there for you. Outbid Hugh Keevins if you can.
I'll tell you my reason later, but here's £1,000.
I like it.
He's
I like
going
his
to
style.
me. That's got
Please bid. Please outbid me.
Go 1,001, does
He's on his knees begging to be outbid here. Anyway, those are your 3 o'clock, 2 to 3 o'clock prizes. Get your bids in right now, please. I'll keep you up to speed as the hour progresses.
Bruni would want me to have it.
I'm sure he would. Let's go round the grounds ahead of our 3 big featured matches today. Livingston Dundee might be the biggest of the lot, Roger Hannah.
Well, according to the Livingston coach Marvin Bartley, who I've just spoken to, it probably is the biggest of them all. 4 points adrift at the foot of the Premiership table. Get into this one, they've lost 3 in a row. Most recently, of course, Gordon, against your beloved Motherwell last weekend. They are without a win here since I saw them beat Falkirk on August the 9th. That's 14 games in all competitions. That including a 3-2 defeat to Dundee at Dens in September, when Callum Jones scored a controversial stoppage time winner from the penalty spot. But they could go within a single point of the Dark Blues with a long-awaited home win today. Dundee themselves not in a great vein of form. 6 defeats in their last 7, but they have won the last 4 head-to-heads against Livy and scored 10 goals in the process. I was asking Marv about team selections. Have made 3 changes from that defeat against Motherwell. Sammy Lawal, Stevie May and Tete Yenge all dropped to the bench, and there are starts for Jeremy Bakila, the World Cup bound Curacao defender Joshua Brennett, and the fit again captain Ryan McGowan at 36 years of age. A first start in exactly 3 months, and during that time, of course, Gordon, 3.5 weeks in hospital with a severe leg infection. So Livy go with Jerome Prior in goal. It's Joshua Brennett, Ryan McGowan, Danny Wilson and Danny Finlayson, who moves to left back this afternoon. The holders in midfield, Macaulay Tate and Mohamedou Sissoko, and then Lewis Smith, Scott Pittman and Christian Montano, who'll push forward onto the left wing, all in support of Jeremy Bakila. On the bench, Hamilton, Muirhead and Carey, McLennan, May and Shinnie, Silla, Yenge and Lawal. Just the one change for Stephen Presley's Dundee after that home defeat to Aberdeen last week, and it is an enforced win. Joe Westley out injured, and that means a start in the midfield for Paul Digby. So it's John McCracken in goal, Ryan Ashley, Billy Cometio, Luke Graham and Dre Wright across the back. Ethan Hamilton and Paul Digby are the holders, then Cam Congreve, Jan Danda and Tony Ugani behind Simon Murray. On the bench, O'Hara, Ingram and Donnelly, Aqua, Finn Robertson and Hay, Samuels, Riley and Jones. The referee is Dan McFarlane, the VAR is Nick Walsh, and I think I speak for the whole of the Radio Clyde family when I say I am astonished and severely grateful for the generosity of Sir Hugh Keevins.
Absolutely, we're just picking ourselves up off the floor, but we'll get back to him in just a second, because another fantastic fixture to look forward to in the top flight today is Dundee United Motherwell. David Friel.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Gordon, and Hugh was mentioning, as well as dishing out the cash, he was also mentioning the weather earlier. It might be windy here at Tannadice, but I think if any team can keep the high balls low, it's the Harlem Globetrotters of Motherwell. They sit third in the table, just 6 points behind Celtic, and they've been the great entertainers of the Premiership. I think everybody's enjoyed watching them. Jens Bertel-Askew, what a revelation he's been at Fir Park. And he's hitting some really impressive stats. They're on an 8-game unbeaten league run. That's their best in over 12 years, and a clean sheet today would make it 5 in a row in the league, which they haven't managed in 15 years. Don't think any surprise that Callum Ward was given a new contract after some really good displays recently from the goalkeeper. Motherwell have been great going forward, but they've also been very strong defensively, and I think it's kind of maybe gone under the radar a wee bit about how much that's a reason for them being in the position they are. They cruised past Livingston last weekend, but we know Jens Bertel-Askew, he loves to make changes, and he's made another 3 this week. Stephen Welsh, Callum Slattery and Callum Hendry come in for Liam Gordon, Regan Charles-Cook and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. Tawanda Maswanisi does start, but this will be his last game before he heads to the AFCON on Monday. I'll just run through the Motherwell team for you. Callum Ward in goal, Stephen O'Donnell, Paul McGinn, Stephen Walsh and Johnny Katrumbis, Lucas Fadinger, Elliot Watt, Tawanda Maswanisi, Elijah Just, Callum Slattery and Callum Hendry. Subs for Motherwell are Connolly, Gordon, Sparrow, Priestman, Stamatolopoulos, Ross, Longelo, Charles Cook and Said. I think most people will have Motherwell as favourites today. I don't think it's any real surprise. Dundee United are 10 points behind them. They're really struggling for form in recent months. They've only got 1 win in their last 10, no wins in their last 6. They lost 2-0 to St Mirren last weekend. Jim Goodwin, not a happy man. He wants a reaction from these players today. Don't think it's any surprise he's added Amar Fata and Max Waters to his front 3. It's the first of 3 home games in a week for United. They've got Celtic and Hibs to follow. They're all tough, but United really need to start picking up points. They're going to line up with Dave Richards in goals, back 3 of Yuri Yovo, Ross Graham and Bert Esselink, Ryan Strain, Lucas Stevenson, Craig Sibbald and Will Ferry across the middle with Amar Fata, Zach Sapsford and Max Waters in attack. Subs United are Adams, Chevet, Dolchek, Sturton, Trapanovsky, Eskison, Beattie, Mola and Cleo Harding. Referees Duncan Nicholson, the VAR's Greg Aitken, and also Gordon, a special word for John Attenborough, the United fan. He was on the show this week. A great story of being able to see a football match for the first time due to the Give Vision headset. He's a massive United fan. He's going to be at the game today. He's getting the headset on again, and I hope he really does enjoy himself again.
Brilliant. One of my favourite calls of all time, that. Hopefully John does indeed have a good day. As David Field says, you were speaking about Mark Wilson. Forget Mark Wilson, Fraser Wishart's there as well. A day like this, Arbroath.
What a double!
Incredible. He is there ahead of Arbroath against Partick Thistle, but it is an interesting couple of days in the Championship, Fraser. Oh, where is he? We gave him the.
He's been blown in the sea.
We gave him the big build up. We'll try and get Fraser in just a second.
In the North Sea, maybe. But Thistle thought they were on to an early Christmas present last night when
hold on, is he there? Can we hear him now, Fraser? Thought I could hear something in the background. No. Yes.
Like
oh, he's sniffing. Can he just not hear me?
You can hear him.
Fraser, let's see if we'll get
if he blows his nose, the game will be off.
That's rich coming from you.
Well, as I say, they thought they were on an early Christmas present, Partick Thistle, last night when Ayr United went into a 2-goal lead at Somerset Park against St Johnstone, but then Simo Valakari got it all right in the second half. Ayr got it all wrong. St Johnstone scored 4 times, so Thistle will have to get there today to Arbroath with their work cut out.
Paging Fraser Wishart. Yes,
I can hear him.
Yes, I'm here. You lost me. The gremlins from here in Arbroath must have got to us. But I was just saying, if you think it's breezy from David Friel's report in Dundee, you can tell what it's going to be like here in Arbroath. I think the description is the nets are billowing in the wind, but the pitch is looking fine. It's a great old ground. Love coming here, and I think it's a really cracking game in store here because Arbroath season, as usual, has gone under the radar. We talk about the Championship a lot in this show. We also focus on Mark Wilson and Partick Thistle, but the different fortunes of Ross County and St Johnstone also in discussions. Big names like Scott Brown and Neil Lennon managing teams, but it's understandable Arbroath don't grab the headlines, but they're right in the mix for a playoff place. 3rd place and 9 points behind Thistle in the tail. It's a great season, and they're the only part-time club in a full-time league, so I think that says a lot for them. So Mark Wilson will know perfectly what stands between his side and get back down the road with 3 points, and I don't think he'll underestimate his opponents at all. They drew 1 each at Firhill. I was at that game, and Arbroath showed a lot of mettle to come back to get a point. So after St Johnstone's win, you were just talking about it there against Ayr, really terrific win coming from behind. I think there's a bit of a statement, and a win today for Thistle would also be a statement, and probably just see the title race as a 2-horse race, because it would mean there was 12 points between Thistle in second and Arbroath in third if they win today. The team beginning to look settled. The Jags experiencing the right areas, creativity up front, but Arbroath have got plenty of experience at this level in their players to make a difficult game for the Jags here. Pitch is looking fine, although it's a bit windy, and as always I said earlier, great old ground, decent atmosphere. atmosphere and a decent travelling support, I think, from Thistle as well. So I'm really looking forward to this game. The team news for Arbroath: just one change for the win against Dunfermline last Saturday. Harry Cochrane comes in for Jacob McIntyre and drops onto the bench, so they go 4-2-3-1. Aidan McAdams in goals, Craig Watson, Brooklyn Kabangolo, Thomas O'Brien and Jack Wilkie at the back, Ryan Flynn and Harry Cochrane in the midfield, with Taylor Stephen, Ryan Dow and Findlay Marshall behind the striker Gavin Riley. The substitutes are Dapo Mbudi, Victor Emin, David Gold, Jacob McIntyre, Colin Hamilton, Aaron Muirhead, Nikolai Todorov, Aaron Pettifer and Jordan Pettigrew. For Partick Thistle, they've made a couple of changes. The wingers Fitzpatrick and Chalmers dropped to the bench, and come O'Reilly and Watts. It looks like a bit of a change in formation for me. I think they might go to a 3-5-2 formation with Josh Clark in goals, a back three, Luke McBeth, Lee Ashcroft and Dan O'Reilly, Ben McPherson, Sonello Letosa, Ben Stanley, Usheen Smith and Paddy Redding across the middle, with two strikers, Tony Watt and Alex Samuel. Their substitutes are Lewis Bodinokis, Aidan Fitzpatrick, Logan Chalmers, Stephen Lawless, Cammy Logan, Scott Martin, Sean McCardle and Kyle Turner. And the referee today at Gayfield Park is Ryan Lee.
Right, loads to look forward to on the pitch and here in the auction room as well. A reminder of what is at stake. Of course, we've got the all-day prizes running, but I can dip back into them. You've got your Andy Murray signed memorabilia and the signed Scotland shirt, as well as the JQ5 on the text. Already some bids coming in. The Scotland shirt sitting at £1,000. Thank you very much to Ross Cameron, who's also bid $500 for the Andy Murray memorabilia. The Andy Murray package is stunning, honestly. We've had a look at it and it is worth loads, but thank you to Ross for kicking us off. You are running out of time on the following lots, 2 until 3 o'clock. You've only got 40 minutes left on these. Kilmarnock Hospitality, it's 2 tickets in the Continental Lounge. You get the chance to meet some of the players and coaching staff. It's for a fixture this season. You become a VIP guest for the club, sorry. So we've got no bids in on that yet. So Kelly fans, or to be honest, see anyone that just wants a good wee day out in the hospitality, get your bids in on that right now, please. The Ayr United package is still being led by Hugh Keevins. £1,000 he wants to pay to meet Scott Brown. If you want to outbid him, we would welcome that. You get to meet Scott Brown, 3-course meal, drink, seats in the North Stand, match of your choice for Ayr United, the one I'm interested in, because there's still no bids on this yet, Celtic fans. Time is of the essence here. The Celtic package, donated by PTS Clean, includes cup final tickets for tomorrow. I know it's been a tough week, but it could be history making. It could be Wilfried Nancy's first ever trophy in charge of Celtic. You get 2 tickets for the Celtic end tomorrow and a signed Callum McGregor home shirt. He's a legend of the club already. Who knows what he'll go on to achieve before he hangs it up. So you've got your home shirt and your 2 Celtic end tickets for the League Cup final tomorrow. That's worth a fortune. Let's get some bids in right now. And we do have a £500 bid from the Dreammaker Foundation coming in on the Rangers package. But again, this is worth loads. Let's try and push this up, because it's a signed Rangers shirt. You get 2 tickets to the 2 media passes for a game this season, excludes Celtic and European games, and 2 director's box tickets for another match as well, if you so wish. That's a massive price. So those are the ones that finish at 3 o'clock. 0141 565 2468. Why don't you bid right now, actually, and we'll talk more football next.
0141 565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Yes, we are up and running on the Cash for Kids Sports Auction. It's always a busy day, always a rewarding day, but we've got a lot of hard work to get through together. I will recap the all-day prizes very soon, but the ones that you're up against it time-wise, the 2 until 3 o'clock lots, you've only got half an hour left, so we need to get moving. We've finally got some bids on the Kilmarnock Hospitality, donated by the club. 2 tickets, hospitality, and you get to meet some of the staff and so on. It's a great prize and it'll be a brilliant day out anyway. Gina Murphy is in on £250. Thank you to Gina for opening that one up. I think we can squeeze more out of it. The Ayr United, I knew it would be tough to beat Hugh Keevins' £1,000 cash that he's laid down, but if you want to wipe that smirk off his face, you can do on that same number. You get a 3-course meal, a drink, you get to meet Scott Brown as well, and obviously watch the game, so that's a cracker. We're up and running on the Celtic package as well.
I'm just thinking Bruni might pay $2,000 for me not to go.
This is good. Liam has come in with a bid for the Celtic Cup final tickets. It's at £200. We really appreciate Liam's generosity. I think we can do more. It's 2 tickets for tomorrow. Can you be able to get a ticket now, will you? So 2 tickets for tomorrow and a signed Callum McGregor home shirt. dare I say it, I think the Callum McGregor signed home shirt's maybe worth that or more than that on its own.
Oh yeah.
Chuck the tickets in. So as much as I love Liam's generosity, let's squeeze some more out of that, please. And the Rangers package is sitting at £750. Thank you to Ross Donnell, but again, this is a crack. Honestly, think about this as we go through it all. Signed Rangers shirt, 2 Rangers media passes, so you could sit next to Gordon Dalziel in the press gantry. There you go. How's that for a money can't buy experience?
Fortunes.
But that's the whole point, isn't it? Money can't buy. You can't just do that. You don't get to get into the press room before the game and after the game, but you can today. So press room before and after the game, signed Rangers top, and director's box tickets for a different game. It doesn't include the Celtic or European games. So that's an unbelievable price. Sitting at £750, I think it's worth a good bit more. So let's get the bids in there, please, on 01415652468. Loads more to come throughout the afternoon. At this stage on a Saturday, we quite often reflect on some of the biggest talking points throughout the week. David Friel, and I think it's just about one man and one man only almost. His name is Wilfried Nancy.
Where do you even begin, Gordon? There's been a lot of hysteria. It's been the worst possible start for him. I think there's been good moments from Celtic in both games. I think there's been a lot of bad moments from Celtic. It was quite remarkable to listen to the phone in last night and hear people calling for him to go after 2 games. However, I don't think he's helped himself. I'm really surprised that he came in and completely ripped up Celtic's approach and tried to implement a new system when he doesn't have a full squad to choose from because of injuries. He has failings in the squad due to a bad transfer window. He's got no coaching time and he's got so many big games. I thought Wilfried Nancy, and even speaking to people who'd worked with him in the past, would just come in and almost just try and keep things ticking over and gradually make changes. Now, I know it's not all down to the system, but I think Celtic have looked really uncomfortable at times in games. I think Martin O'Neill brought simplicity, he brought clarity, and I think Wilfried Nancy in the first 2 games has brought uncertainty and confusion. And it was really interesting this morning, a lot of his stuff where he's talking about he's going to speak to his players and maybe has to slow down a bit. I think every single Celtic player will buy into a long-term vision. I think they know the way he wants to play. I think they will all be on board with it. But if you speak to likes of Callum McGregor, Kieran Tierney, I would imagine they would want to go back to basics for this cup final tomorrow. Go back to how Celtic have been used to playing for years now, and just try in the short term to get some results again, because if the cup final goes badly tomorrow, Wilfried Nancy is under huge pressure already.
That said though, Fraser Wishart, what's to say that you approach things the way you wanted to, you fine-tuned it a bit, you're a bit better, and you're up against a team, with no disrespect to Stephen Robinson, who are not as good as Roma, and it might work tomorrow?
Yeah, but they might be looking at the Hearts game last week, and maybe the Hearts set up to stifle Celtic going forward as well. You know, just leaving Austin Trusty, who's a left-sided player, on the right-hand side with the ball. You know, so I would go back to a back 4 if I was Wilfried Nancy. I'd go back to that. No problem if they want to change formation longer term, as David says. But I would go back to a back 4 and get his players playing tomorrow, because if they don't start the game well tomorrow, St Mirren could be all over them. You know, St Mirren have got that type of team where they're very athletic, they're strong, they close down quickly, they're very fit as well. You know, and there's a lot of hysteria around football managers nowadays. I mean, we had Russell Martin criticised because he was a vegan and wasn't wearing brown brogues. Now we've got Wilfried Nancy's tactics board at the side of the pitch. What does it all matter? It doesn't really matter. What matters is getting results, and that's what Wilfried Nancy's got to look at. Say, right, how am I going to beat St Mirren? What are the players comfortable with? And I think the great managers are flexible. You know, your top managers, they don't just play the same way every single week. Tactically, they might change. Guardiola does it; he changes formation from time to time as well. So I think that sometimes the modern coach, sometimes across the board, gets set in their ways, and they only want to play the way they call it. That horrible word, philosophy, it's not. And sometimes you can complicate football, you know, for modern day coaches. So I would, if I was Wilfried Nancy, back to a back 4 tomorrow, back to what Celtic have been good at for the last few years, and introduce your different style of play over a longer period, because they need to win tomorrow. Absolutely.
I mean, Roger Hanna, for you guys, it's filled a lot of column inches this week, and it's even by our standards, it's quite remarkable the level of discourse around all this.
Yeah, we were on the show, you and I, on Monday night with Kenny Miller, and I timed it, Gordon, 6:39 p.m. The first Celtic fan calling for Wilfried Nancy to be sacked, and that was after one game. I tend to agree with Fraz. You need to be flexible as a manager. You cannot just come in and impose your philosophy on a group of players. They don't look up. They're not against a 3-4-3, but what I would say is the players at Celtic at the minute don't look comfortable with it. whereas they did look comfortable with, as David says, the simplicity and the clarity that was given to them by Martin O'Neill. So I think maybe Wilfred Nancy's been a little naive, thinking he could come in and just play his way with these players. There were two difficult games, Gordon. Hearts are top of the league. Hearts had beaten Celtic the last time they met. They beat Brendan Rodgers' team a couple of years ago at Parkhead as well. It's a difficult game. Roma, we know, are a class side. We'd seen it when they came to Ibrox and took Rangers apart. So there are mitigating factors there. But if he's going to win tomorrow against St Mirren, I think the best chance he has is admitting that 3-4-3, they're not ready for it, and going back to a back four, a 4-3-3 that Celtic are comfortable with. Because if they go back to that and Celtic play the way everyone knows they can, then you would favour them to win. If they lose tomorrow, there are major question marks to be asked.
This all sounds very risky either way, Hugh. What if they play a back four and lose? Then what? Then you're a new manager who's come in, doesn't know what you're doing, you've bowed to everybody else's pressure. Roger Hannah just presented the case for mitigation, that those are tough games. Well, maybe a four at the back would have lost those games then, the same way that Martin O'Neill lost against Midtjylland, or that Brendan Rodgers lost at Tynecastle. This notion that all he had to do was keep the same formation, that seems made up to me.
I'm trying to read the room here where the Celtic fans are concerned, and I think their worry is that you can make an appointment out of left field, but is this too far out of left field? You can think outside the box in terms of your appointment, but is this too far outside the box? He's come from the MLS where there is no jeopardy, where winning and losing is not a matter of life and death as it is in this city. And for me, a red flag is raised straight away when I look at my morning newspapers and I find that Wilfred Nancy speaking about the players, the Celtic players, coming to him and asking if this is all going too quickly. So immediately the alarm bell goes off that the Celtic players themselves aren't sure about this man, and therefore if they lose the cup final tomorrow, then not you, not me, the Dazzler or Cammy will be able to get out the way of the avalanche of Celtic supporters who will be saying to us on this programme tomorrow, we've got the wrong man in charge.
That would at least be a bit understandable, Cammy, because losing a cup final is a big deal. If you're Celtic, losing a cup final is a huge deal against a team that you would be generally considered to beat. I still find the reaction a real struggle over the last two games. Roma could well have beaten Celtic, no matter who was in charge, no matter what formation they played, no matter what colour of trainers Wilfred Nancy wore. Roma could have beat them. Hearts narrowly beat them on a game that in another day Celtic might have won if they'd taken their chances. The overreaction's been incredible.
Yeah, listen, for me the reaction has been incredible. Whether he brings out a tactics board, whether he wears green trainers, it doesn't matter to me. I think where I look at the manager and what I would think he's been a little bit naive in doing is trying to change things far too quickly. For me, being an ex-player, trying to change formation, and again I think you've got to look at the personnel Celtic have in the building at this moment in time. I think they were two difficult games for Wilfred Nancy to come in and change the formation really, really quickly, not have a lot of time in the training ground and try and get results. I felt as if the best way to approach them games was just tweak it slightly, play the same formation, get your information over and building it over time. There's loads of time for him. He's got a long future at the club. Certainly he hopes he's got a long future at the club to build on this, and I just felt he was a little bit naive changing that formation so quickly, because these games are really, as you mentioned there, Gordon, anybody that was in charge could get beat by Hearts and Roma. They're really difficult games. I think tomorrow is the game that you look at and think Celtic have to win that and should win that because they're playing St Mirren. No disrespect to St Mirren.
Cammy uses the word naivety. You're making the point, Gordon, that supporter anxiety a weekend is surely bizarre, but I would also suggest that naivety on the part of the new manager a weekend is an allowable concern for the Celtic players and the Celtic fans.
Oh, it's not that it's not allowable, it's about how you put that across, Gordon Dalziel, and whether you do it in a proportionate manner. This is not a great Celtic team. That's why they are where they are. They've struggled going forward all season. They've had various blanks in front of goal. So, if you play four at the back, does that allow Dyson Maida to put his chance away? Does it allow Arne Engels to put his chance away? That's not to say that some of the concerns aren't legitimate, as the guys have pointed out, but it feels like everyone's pointing that out. What about if he just puts a right footer in that back three tomorrow? What if Anthony Ralston's one of the back three? What if Colby Donovan's one of the back three? Is that more likely than him going back to a back four?
For me, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon of changing the formation, right? And I totally understand that. I think the players got off scot-free, right?
Totally.
Scot-free, right? Just focus once again all on the manager. I'm all over the place like the manager is just now with this, because I look at him sometimes and I think, I don't even think he looks a fit. But we cannot judge a manager in 2 games, right? I know that the modern day manager now doesn't get any time at all. We've seen managers this year been sacked after 2 games. Formation wise, yes, I can take on board everybody's talking. I actually thought, when I watched his first game against Hearts, the first 20 minutes I thought to myself, wow, this is good football. I like it. I like the movement. They were creating chances. They should have scored goals. They switched off for the first goal. Right, everybody did. They lost a set play to the second goal. Then you come up against Roma. Okay, I think Roma were a step above, and you can pick holes on it. I'm just wondering what he's got to do tomorrow. I think if he gets back to the 4 and he loses, I think he's under more pressure, right? Because I think that's like, people say, well, he's got to adapt. The new coach has got to adapt. Right, I've heard all that. He's got a way of playing. That's how he got the job. Celtic players, for me, you're talking about a back 3 left footers. There's only one problem, you're right-sided, right? Because your middle guy can play as a left footer, and your left-sided guy gives you the balance. They've got enough good players there. I'm completely on the fence with this guy, but I think it really is unfair to bring someone in and then just start this nonsense. He comes out with a tactics board, he's not wearing the right trainers, he's not saying the right things. He's not even had a transfer window. He's dealing with probably the worst Celtic squad for a long, long time.
Barely had the full training session.
Exactly, you've got to. Patience, and I know Celtic fans don't have it.
As the most recent ex-pro Cammy, though, I will never be lucky enough to be in those shoes. See, if I was a player that had put in the performance that some of them put in the other night, and put in the performance that some of them put in last week, I would be buzzing that everybody was talking about the manager and making out as if it was all his fault, because they get away with so much when the fascination's all about this system. It means as a player you're allowed to go and play as badly as you like, and everybody blames the manager.
Yeah, no, listen, 100% Daz hit it there. Listen, the players need to take a huge amount of responsibility. They're the ones that go on the pitch and deliver. Whether they like that formation or like that style of play that the manager's trying to implement, they've got to try and buy into it, because if they don't buy into it, they won't be at the club long term, because that's the way he's wanting to play. I think you're absolutely bang on, though, that listen, the players need to take a lot of responsibility. But naturally, us working in the media, we're going to look at the manager. He has changed his formation. For me, there was a massive risk. He's leaving himself a little bit open to criticism if it doesn't work. Whereas if he stuck by the formation and then said he'd lost that game against Hearts, but he'd stuck to the same formation, I think you've got a little bit of an excuse there.
Do you think people would say, where's the courage of your convictions? Why have you not come in and put your own stamp on it?
We speak about tomorrow. What is he going to do? Is he going to go to 4? Is he going to stick with the 3? And again, whatever he does, if he doesn't win the game, we are going to criticise him no matter what he does.
The other external worry that Celtic have here, and it started on Super Scoreboard last night, fans saying this is the board's mistake, this is their doing. Now, as we can see all too clearly, there exists open warfare between a certain section of the Celtic fans and the board. The AGM was disrupted, and if the board are going to be blamed for the appointment of Wilfred Nancy, he had better win tomorrow, because, as Nancy himself said, a win buys him time. And that's undoubtedly the case. There'll be massive celebrations. Celtic have won the League Cup. A defeat buys him nothing but trouble.
Right, so let's knock that in the head for now, because we've got 3 o'clock games to look forward to, and the Cash for Kids sports auction. You've only got 15 minutes or so left for the following prizes. The Kilmarnock Hospitality is now sitting at £500 from an anonymous bidder. That's an excellent amount. Let's see if we can push it a bit more. The Celtic package, Braxfield Financial Services, we're now up to £600. That's the 2 tickets to tomorrow and the signed Callum McGregor shirt. And the Rangers package, because there's a lot in this package, it's the 2 media passes for a Rangers game and 2 director's box tickets as well. So there's loads there. That's worth a fortune. Tom Gray has got us up to £1,000 for that, but I think we can do a lot more in the next 15 minutes. And we've had a development on the Ayr United package. Hugh Keevins, how does this sound? Hugh Keevins has bid £1,000. Graham Mathey from Ayr has kindly been in touch to say, I've just heard Hugh's very generous offer, we'll give the prize again if somebody else wants to bid as well. So your £1,000 is locked in.
Thank you.
You're off to meet Scott Brown. We'll take your £1,000 to Cash for Kids, but if somebody else wants involved to meet Scott Brown, get the hospitality for 2 at Ayr, you've got 15 minutes to get a bid in. So let's do that right now if we can, please, on 0141 565 2468.
This is the Clyde One Super Scoreboard Cash for Kids Sports Auction. We need your support. 0141 565 2468.
Just over 10 minutes to go on a few of our auction prizes. It's Cash for Kids Sports Auction Day. We've got big games to feature as well, of course, but the ones that you've got only 10 minutes or so to tackle are the following. Kilmarnock Hospitality for 2. It's sitting at £500. Thank you to that anonymous bidder. Ayr United prize has gone down a storm because that is hospitality, 3-course meal, drink, tickets to the match, but it includes a meet and greet with Scott Brown. Hugh Keevins, do not adjust your radio, very generously gave us £1,000 cash. He really wants to go. Ayr United then got back in touch and said, well, we could have the prize twice over. So Ian has now steamed in with a bid of £300 there as well, which is brilliant. Tomorrow, 2 tickets in the Celtic end for the League Cup final and a signed Callum McGregor home shirt. Braxfield Financial Services still sitting at £600. We've got 10 minutes left. Can we get a bit of a bidding war going there? Can we squeeze a bit more out of it? And the Rangers package, Ronnie Belshaw's in the lead with a bid of £1,500, but there's loads in that prize. It is 2 passes to the media section at Ibrox. You get to get into the media lounge before and after the game. You get your Rangers home top signed by the current squad, and there's 2 director's box tickets to be used separately as well. It doesn't include the Celtic or European games, but that's a stunning prize by Rangers. There's loads in there. I've got a big cracker of a Celtic prize to come later on as well, by the way, but that's now gone up to £1,750. I can see it being updated right before my very eyes. Billy McCarthy has gone in there, but come on, you're 10 minutes left. Let's get a bidding war going on these. £1,750 in the Rangers one. I think we can do more. We can certainly do more in the Celtic. Tomorrow it's tickets for the final and the signed Callum McGregor home shirt. The Ayr United prize and the Kelly one. 0141 565 2468. You've only 10 minutes left on them, so give us a call right now, please. Let's go back around the grounds. Roger Hanna, I was going to suggest that we love a snap judgment in this part of the world, but we just spoke about writing a Celtic manager off after 2 games, so that maybe speaks for itself. Would Livy be gone in some people's eyes if Dundee go and beat them today?
No, I don't think so. I think it is a little bit early for that. There is only a 4-point gap there. You have to factor in Kilmarnock's on a form as well. They're there or thereabouts. So I don't think Livingston are going to be cut adrift anytime soon, the way that St Johnstone were for a period last season, Gordon. I think there's too much about them. It actually wouldn't surprise me if they won here today. They have made changes. I think the win is more important to them at this stage of the season than it is to Dundee, and sometimes that factors into the performance. So I don't think they will be cut adrift. And you know, David Martindale was the longest serving manager. If Wilfred Nonsi is the shortest serving manager in the Premiership, David Martindale's the longest serving. He knows the club inside out, he knows his players inside out. He remains confident that they can get out of this mess.
And of course, David Field, there's so much fascination around your game because, well, it's the football that Motherwell are playing. It feels like more and more people now really taking notice, because not only is it getting results, but it doesn't have that bit that you alluded to earlier. There was always this accusation that, oh yeah, it'll be fine, but they're going to leak goals. They don't even seem to do that either. Now they might today, but up until this point they've been pretty stingy at the back as well.
Yeah, and I think it's because of how hard they work and how intense they are. You know, James Bertolascu talks about that a lot. You know, he wants his players to have so much freedom going forward, but he also expects them all to put a shift in. And he keeps them on their toes. Gordon, you know, I know Daz is always talking about the changes he makes. I mean, I was at the Motherwell Livingston game last week. I thought Regan Charles-Cook, of all the great performances, I thought he was a real standout, and he's on the bench today. Askew just keeps his players on their toes. He makes changes. There's Stamatopoulos out for Callum Hendry today. Callum Slattery back in the midfield with Reagan Charles-Cook out. So he's got a lot of players there that are very much comfortable in the system, in the shape. It's quite a fluid shape in how he wants to play, and they're going to have so much of the ball today against the Dundee United team, who are really, really struggling for form. And speaking to some of the guys up here, when they come in, they just say they just can't really buy a win right now. And as I say, this is a run of 3 home games, all very tough, but Jim Goodwin needs to get points somewhere among this.
And into the Championship, our featured matches are both Partick Thistle, Fraser Wishart. We'll see if our old pal Mark Wilson started using the managerial cliches about how they only focus on themselves, because the old Mark Wilson would have admitted that he must have been a bit gutted last night when Ayr United were 2-0 up and St Johnstone coming out for the second half and ended up losing 4-2.
Yeah, they find themselves in that position, don't they, right on the coattails of St Johnstone. If they win today, they go into the same points as them. But a win today, as I said earlier, there's 12 points between second and third, and Arbroath would remain in third. So it's becoming a 2-horse race, and for all Mark can talk about that, of course he's going to look at St Johnstone's results every single week and find out how they were getting on. That was a brilliant comeback for St Johnstone, probably a big comeback and a real statement that they've got a bit of grit about them, and that's the type of thing that Thistle are going to have to show today. It's interesting that he's changed, I think, to 3 at the back, going to 3 big centre backs as well. He's maybe expecting in the wind lots of balls into his own penalty box. He's gone with Watt and Samuel up front. He's sort of rotated them as well, so a slight change in formation by Mark, but he knows how tough it will be. I mean, the rise of Arbroath in the last sort of 15 months has been unbelievable. I mean, David Gold and Colin Hamilton, joint player managers, were appointed as caretakers in September 24, and they were bottom of League One. I don't think they had a win in the first sort of 9 games, 10 games, and now look at them, they're in the 3rd place in the Championship. So no wonder full-time clubs, there was rumours that Wraith Rovers maybe having a wee look at them recently as well. So if they keep winning, then all of a sudden the job offers will come. But I do have a wee feeling that Thistle have got something about them. I've got a wee feeling that the Jags are going to narrowly pick up all 3 points today.
Brilliant. We are on the home stretch. You have just minutes left to bid on the Kilmarnock Hospitality. It's now gone up to 800. The Ayr United Hospitality and Meeting Scott Brown has also gone up to 800. Stan from S1 Auto Services Dumbarton leading them. Billy Gold's in the lead with the Celtic Cup final. 2 tickets for tomorrow and a signed Callum McGregor shirt on £700. The Rangers package is ticking along nicely because there's loads in there. Chris is out in front with £2,500. But these bids come to a close in 5 minutes' time. 0141 565 2468. You've got 5 minutes left. We'll round it off next.
Together we can win.
During the school holidays, we know of young people that aren't getting 3 warm meals a day.
Spend my whole life chasing good times.
Particularly families who've got the younger children. The magic of Christmas is just putting so much strain on families who are already struggling to get food, fuel for their, homes.
When the road is calling home and my heart is full of hope.
Our goal, to help make Christmas better for those who would otherwise miss out.
And we know some that are scraping around in cupboards for things like dry cereal.
They can't believe they're getting this. The kids tell us, we were able to get this or we were able to get that.
It's a heartbreaking cycle, and that's where Cash for Kids really makes a difference for these kids.
0141 565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
You've got about 30 seconds left. 0141 565 2468 if you want the Kilmarnock Hospitality, the Ayr Hospitality, the Celtic tickets and signed shirt for tomorrow, and that big Rangers package. 30 seconds, quick call, or we will bring them to a close. Before that, if I could get an ACCA on your 3 featured matches today from you, the pundits, please.
I am going to take Livy to beat Dundee, Motherwell to beat Dundee United, and Partick Thistle to beat Arbroath.
I'm going Dundee to beat Livingston, draw Dundee United Motherwell, and Partick Thistle to beat Arbroath.
I'm going Livy Dundee draw. Dundee United are playing a goalkeeper, I see, so I'm going for Motherwell. And I'm going for an Arbroath win.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
Betting against your pal, that's terrible.
No, I know, and the reasoning is because of we've all been there. Arbroath know how to play that wind. Mark's team's a footballing team. Difficult.
With friends like him.
Yeah, shocking.
There's no friendship here whatsoever. But listen, I thought like you guys last night. I turned the football on. Ayr United 2, St Johnstone 0. I'm thinking brilliant for Mark. I was going to text him, and I decided that I wasn't going to watch anymore. And I woke up this morning and brilliant for St Johnstone.
Did you text him?
No.
I thought you would have texted him.
I was going to, and I thought, well, I'll wait and see how the full-time whistle goes, and I was going to give him a bit of encouragement today. I was going to send him a wee sort of a nice wee message to read in the team bus, motivation. I had a few motivational speeches, but unfortunately for Mark, it didn't happen.
I'm going to give you some good news on the auction, Hugh, in a second, but bad news because your Seagulls are getting beat already. Hugo Ekitike has got Liverpool 1 up.
Inside a minute.
Inside 1 minute. Right, let's bring to a close the first lot of items on our Cash for Kids sports auction. We will close the lines on those, and thank you very, very much for your generosity on the Kilmarnock hospitality package donated by Kilmarnock. An anonymous bidder has won that for £1,000. That is a brilliant amount of money, and I'll tell you what, the Ayr, you sir have played a blinder on the Ayr United hospitality. Hugh Keevins has given us £1,000. It comes with a meet and greet with the manager Scott Brown. Paul has then come in and matched the £1,000, and Ayr United have said they'll give us the prize again. So both of you get it for the grand £2,000 on Ayr United hospitality. That is wonderful. Thank you to Hugh Keevins and to Paul out there as well.
That was worth lifting him off the ground.
Absolutely
was.
Can I just say a quick thing? My brother and I spoke about this, and we lost our brother in March, and this is our gesture for our brother Patrick. So my other brother Frank and I agreed. We were 3 wee guys from Partick, and lots of people then in the 1950s would have done anything for Cash for Kids, helping out times of austerity. So that's why we're here today, and that's why I happily give you £1,000 in cash for the kids.
Brilliant, good gesture from Hugh Keevins. A wonderful gesture from Hugh and his family. I think Chris Taylor has won the Celtic tickets, 2 tickets to the final tomorrow, and a signed Callum McGregor shirt for £850. And the Rangers package, there was so much in that. Thank you to Rangers for donating it. We've got the media passes to the game and director's box tickets to a game and a signed shirt, so loads in there, and that went to Chris for £2,500. A wonderful amount of money raised so far. Give me a second to breathe, and I will bring you the next batch of items very soon. But we'll get big games underway already, Gordon Dalziel.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think for the fact that down the bottom of the league, all eyes will be in Livingston Dundee. It's important. I know what Roger's saying about if Livingston had to lose it today, they're still okay in that sense of they've not been they've not drifted away, but look, they've not won a game since August the 9th or something. And you know what like it is, it goes week in, week out, the confidence goes, you change your team, you change your formation, you change the pre-match routine, everything, just to get yourself a result. I think that's a massive game for Livingston today.
Before we leave the city of Dundee, the focus has been on Stephen Pressley, Dundee. Dundee United are only 4 points above them.
Yeah.
4 points. And they've had 1 win in their last 10. 1 win in 10 against a Motherwell side who have had 4 clean sheets in a row. And old Mercedes Jens continues to do a terrific job there. So, yeah, focus on Stephen Pressley, but don't forget the other half of the City of Discovery is toiling as well.
Yeah, again, I totally agree, Hugh. I think they have went under the radar a little bit. Dundee United, listen, the fans aren't happy up there with the form that they've been in, and this is a massive game for Jim Goodwin, another home game that is a difficult one against an informed Motherwell team that everyone's been impressed with this season. So that's going to be a difficult one. The one at the bottom of the table, I think you're right. I think this is a big game for Livingston today. It's a home game. I think if they were to get beat, I think there's a huge impact on that.
These are the games that you look at the beginning of the season, you think we've got to really win. The Falkers, the Dundees, maybe even the Kilmarnocks and teams like that. And if you can't beat them, and especially at home when you need a result, you're in deep trouble.
I think the players as well, they'll start, if they were to get beat today, and I know the manager will come out and will say the opposite from what I'm going to say here is, but I think they'll start to lose belief if they can't win a home game against the team that's directly above them in Dundee. And that's no disrespect to Dundee.
Speaking of deep trouble, Hamilton Accies go down at Inverness, and we might be counting the days for Hamilton Accies, because there's talk of administration. It's a real sad time for them.
Dumbarton are beating East Kilbride as well. Right, let's reset things. A big thank you to our sponsor, Central Car Auctions. Thanks to the team assembled there by Jason Miller. They're supporting the Cash for Kids sports auction. They've also kick-started us with a £10,000 donation, which is incredible. And to fuel the guys as well, massive shout out for the guys at Bangin' Pizza in Clydebank, because you three are, well, you Cammy Bell, you've not tucked in yet, but you should.
I have not tucked in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the boys at Bangin' Pizza came down and have fueled the auction for the rest of the afternoon. With that in mind, we do have our full day prizes that are still up and running, and I will remind you of them. But the next batch that I'm about to read to you are running between now and 4 o'clock, so you don't have long. This is where you have to think quick, take in everything that's been offered here, and get the bids in. This one's been sent in by Celtic, the club itself, and this is stunning. I mentioned in the previous hour all the bells and whistles that Rangers had thrown into that prize. Listen to this for any Celtic fans out there. 2 director's box tickets with hospitality for Celtic against Utrecht. 2 director's box tickets with hospitality for Celtic against Hibs. A signed shirt by the current squad, and the chance to meet the captain and the manager before both games.
Wow.
Right? Count that up. Get the calculator out in terms of what that's worth. 2 director's box for Utrecht, 2 director's box for Hibs, a signed shirt, and the chance to meet Callum McGregor and Wilfried Nancy before both games. Donated by Celtic. Get your bids in for that right now, please, on 01415652468. That's worth an absolute fortune. And I did say earlier I would shamelessly play you off against each other. I don't care, it's for the kids, for goodness sake. The Rangers package in the previous hour went for 2,500. Celtic fans, are you going to let that happen? Are you going to try and topple it? We'd also have got another Rangers prize for you fans out there, though, who maybe couldn't get the first one. This one donated by Fire Suppression Scotland. It's a great experience, this. So 2 separate match days for 4 people each, with full Blue Sky Lounge access at the home game of your choice, excluding an Old Firm. So again, count that. We're talking 4 people to 2 different games. 8 people if you want, or the same 4 people twice, or whatever. And it's Blue Sky Lounge access. You get parking, you get your complimentary drinks after the game, 3-course meal, free drink on arrival, all that sort of stuff. That must be worth a fortune. 8 people, 2 separate match days. Get your bids in there, thanks to Fire Suppression Scotland for bidding that. Where are you going tonight?
God, do you know something? I'm counting the minutes. I am counting the minutes. I couldn't sleep last night for the fact of I'm going to rugby. The Glasgow Warriors. Looking forward to it. Got my scarf and everything out there. Everything's laid out.
Who are they playing?
Who are they playing? Toulouse.
Everybody else. Yep.
No. If you had French lessons, it's Toulouse, right? They're top A league. They're flying high. Right. But I reckon we'll take them tonight. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Jonesy has shown me about, and
well, the reason I ask is because our next prize, running between 3 and 4 o'clock, is some Club Cubnet hospitality donated by the Glasgow Warriors. That's a really good day out, that, because it's 4 people. Exclusive lounge at the Warriors during this season, premium matchday hospitality, meet the players as well. So it's 4 Category 1 tickets, a 2-course meal. Here's the word you've been waiting for all afternoon: free bar. Free bar. Worth repeating it. A player Q&A session, live entertainment. Doesn't include the 1872 or the playoffs, obviously subject to availability, but if you're a rugby fan out there, that's a cracker, and it's for 4 people as well. So again, bids in there right now. So those are your prizes between 3 and 4 o'clock. Be quick. The Celtic package, which has all sorts in it: 2 director's box for Utrecht, 2 director's box for Hibs, signed shirt, meet Callum McGregor and the manager twice if you so wish. That's sitting at £1,000, but it is worth way more. Sorry to Marco Ferrari, who's got us up and running, because we really appreciate his generosity. That Rangers prize there as well, another one. So it's hospitality for 4 people, but to 2 games. So that's a brilliant prize, that as well. Blue Sky Lounge access and the Glasgow Warriors hospitality for 4. 0141 565 2468, and those items close at 4 o'clock.
How about Ross County? What is happening? Bottom of the championship table, now a goal down after 8 minutes at Wraith Rovers. What is going on there, Cammy?
Yeah, it's been a disaster. We've mentioned it a few times on the show that you expected Tony Docherty to go up there and turn things around. We've spoke about the squad, the quality they've got, the money they're spending up there, but it just hasn't worked. It's been quite an incredible. Again, you look, they're sitting bottom of the table.
Yeah,
That's outrageous.
They could get relegated the way things are going. Yeah.
I think there has to be a decision
with the manager.
Yeah, no, totally. If it's not worked, he's been in there since. I wouldn't like to speculate when he actually came in, but it was certainly towards the start of the season, and he's been in there for a long time. It's not got any better. Sometimes things just don't work. Roy McGregor's got a big decision on his hands, I would say, over the winter period.
Surely would be the biggest wage bill ever to be relegated out of the championship by a mile.
And that's why I mention it, because I feel like Roy McGregor will understand that he cannot get relegated out of the championship. They can't drop down to League One. They've seen what happened to Falkirk. There's living proof of what can happen to a big team and how quickly they can fall, and how long they stayed there as well.
What'll hurt them more is the fact that Roy McGregor will be sitting looking at his wage bill, his management staff, everything, and he'll be looking at a broth and thinking, oh, hold on a minute, am I doing it wrong here? I'm spending all this money, a broth are part-time, and they're sitting proudly up in the championship in third place. Incredible. You okay there? You want me to keep talking while you finish up?
No, I'm fine.
No, you deserve a little bit of break. You've got a lot of talking to do.
I was just looking at David Field's update from Tannadice. He says Max Waters hit a volley from 30 yards and went out for a shy.
Well, that would explain 1 win in 10.
Yeah. It's been a massive struggle for Dundee United again. You look, we spoke about their frailties and defensively, their goalkeeping situation that's cost them a lot of points this season so far. But again, they've had opportunities at the top end of the pitch that they've not taken advantage of. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes today.
Amar Fata's been down twice now, injured for Dundee United. Looks like he's struggling. He's an important player for them. I know they're not doing brilliantly, but he's been good. So that would be a blow for Jim Goodwin. And no shock, the wind is winning the game between Arbroath and Partick Thistle, says Fraser.
I think that'll be dreadful up there. I've been there, I've played there many a time when that wind is howling, and I thought to myself, this isn't for the silky players like myself.
It howls in August up there, never mind this December.
Awful.
But anyway, the Jags will persist and get there in the end, in spite of the Dazzler having dumped his pal for Christmas.
Yeah, because Thistle have the wind, Fraser Wishart says, but it's too strong.
Yeah,
it's only good if it doesn't blow all the way through to the opposition
100%.
goalie.
I've been in that. I remember when I was at Dundee United, we were playing Dumbarton. You know how open Dumbarton can be as well. And again, you're taking a goal kick and you're almost just trying to clip it to the halfway line because the wind's that strong. And again, it just goes all the way through, goes out for a goal kick for the opposition team. So yeah.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
How big a goal could this be down the bottom? Livingston 0, Dundee 1, and it's Jan Danda. We said Dundee had the chance to open up a real gap at the bottom. There's a rebound, the keeper pushed out the shot from Hamilton, and Jan Danda, who's probably not hit the heights people hoped he would at Dundee, has scored what could be an important goal today.
Well, one of these days Livy are going to have to win a football match because this is going nowhere at the minute. Plenty of time, of course, but Jan Danda, I agree. I thought he was a terrific player. Surprised he didn't cut it at Hearts. And, as things stand, Dundee would move to within a point of Dundee United, and that would further illustrate Dundee United's terrible run of form.
Motherwell have got their own issues because two of their own players have collided and are down with head knocks. Stephen Welsh and Elliot Watt, both hugely important players. Cammy, it feels like we mention this every week because it must be happening every week. The goalkeeper should have done better for that Dundee goal. Jerome Prior has made some big saves this season. He probably should have kept out Motherwell's opener last week. Maybe partially at fault here. We're seeing it every week at the moment.
Yeah, again, we've talked about it on the show with regards to the standard of goalkeeping this season in the league. Again, I feel like there's a lot of goalkeepers that don't want to catch the ball, they're wanting to punch away. We've seen it from corners, free kicks coming into the box, and it ends up being a second phase where the goalkeeper could have caught it, decides to parry it or punch it away, and then it results in a goal. But yeah, listen, I think that there certainly has been a drop-off in the standard of goalkeeping this season. There's no getting away from that.
I think that's an understatement.
What I was going to say though, Mitov's even been dragged into that, but then did very well in Europe during the week.
But I just think the mistakes that are happening, if you go back and look over the start of the season from August to now, the number of mistakes that goalkeepers have made is quite incredible.
Dundee United are incredible for it.
Yeah, they've been again terrible for it. Kilmarnock have had obviously their problems with goalkeepers as well.
I'm surprised that Jim Goodwin's not named his selling goals. I know he plays in there for the over 35s or something.
Cammy, one of the questions that beat the pundit last night, which I won convincingly, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Did you?
Was Kilmarnock the last team to win the League Cup against Celtic? And that was your finest ever.
It was, yes.
But let me talk to you about our goalkeeper who's at Hampden tomorrow. Kasper Schmeichel, in May, sold the cup final with a terrible mistake. Then, weeks ago, is chipped from the halfway line by Kenny McLean in the Scotland-Denmark game. Kasper Schmeichel needs, in Celtic's hour of need, Kasper Schmeichel needs to have a right good game tomorrow.
Yeah, he does. But again, what I would say about Kasper is he's played in big games. He's not had a recently a good time at Hampden, because you mentioned that mistake in the cup final that cost him the cup, and then obviously the chip from Kenny McLean. But I think he's a big character. I think he'll be absolutely fine tomorrow. But Celtic might need him again. The way they're playing at this moment in time, they might need a big performance from him.
I'm certainly not fine there. Went 2-0 down.
Wow,
not even 15 minutes gone, 2 down.
Incredible. Still disrupted at Tannadice, still not got back going. In fact, Stephen Welsh has had to go off. A head collision with your own teammate is not ideal. Liam Gordon has come on there. That's a real blow. Stephen Welsh has been excellent for Motherwell in that back line. He's a real key to starting the attacks and so on. And of course you then wonder what the concussion protocol will look like thereafter. But he's carrying a big bandage covered in blood, so we wish him well as he goes off with that head knock. So that Dundee goal, the only one in our featured matches so far. We're ticking along nicely in the auction items, which end at 4 o'clock. That is your Celtic package, which has loads in it. 2 director's box Utrecht, 2 director's box for Hibs, signed shirt, meet and greet with Callum McGregor and Wilfried Nancy twice if you so wish. We've got the Rangers hospitality for 4, but for 2 different games up and running, and the Glasgow Warriors hospitality for 4 as well. So remember, those are the ones that are ending at 4 o'clock, the ones you have to be quick with. I do not want to neglect, though, our all-day prizes, because they are stunning, quite frankly, and also, particularly this first one, all of you can get involved. It was one of the things I really, really care about when we're doing this, is acknowledging that most of you can't afford to bid thousands of pounds for prizes. I totally get that, and would never want it to make you feel excluded. The priority is obviously raising money for the children, but that's why we do this, because for a £5 donation to Cash for Kids, text CAR to 84901, £5, you could win a brand new JQ5. That is worth tens of thousands of pounds, that car, and it could be yours for a £5 donation to Cash for Kids. So text CAR to 84901. That closes at 6 o'clock. That's one of our all-day prizes. And along with that, 2 absolute crackers that we have opening bids for, but quite frankly, they're worth far more. I've got it behind me. It is a signed Andy Murray frame full of memorabilia. It is honestly stunning. The frame's about, 40-50 inches. It has got Andy Murray's racket from Wimbledon in 2013, which was the first one that he won. It's got the signed pictures, it's got some tennis balls. Just the way it's all decorated, it's beautiful, honestly. There's an anonymous bidder with £1,000 there at the moment. We can do way, way, way more than that. It is worth a fortune, this. And the Signed Scotland shirt as well, because every year we do a Signed Scotland shirt. It's always kindly donated, it's always a great prize, but it's never been the squad that's gotten us to the World Cup, at least not since 1997's Cash for Kids auction. That's the reality, signed by all the top men who got us there, and Ross Cameron is in the lead at £1,000. So the Signed Scotland shirt, the Andy Murray package, which is so impressive, and the brand new JQ5 car. Those are running all day. If you want to bid on the racket, the memorabilia and the shirt, 01415652468. Of course, you're just texting car to 84901 for the JQ5.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Oh dear, Livy all over the place, booing from the home fans. Cameron Congreve has been one of the bright sparks for Dundee this season. He's at the back post. Yogain with the cross, and it is 2-0 to Dundee already.
Well, 5 defeats out of 7 that would be for Livy, and the other 2 games were drawn, so it's a horrible start to the day. It doesn't, from this distance, look to me as if Livy can recover from that.
Does David Martindale come under pressure then?
Mm.
I know all the stories about he runs the club, he does everything, the washing, I know all that, but there's new owners in.
Yeah.
Does he now become a manager that comes under pressure?
I'm sure that Davey, being the kind of guy he is, would be honest enough to say, yeah, why would I be different from anyone else?
Yeah.
He is under pressure.
I think David Martindale as well would probably be honest enough to say that I think if he feels he can't get them out of this situation, then he wouldn't just stay for the sake of it. But as you say, Hugh, there's no getting away from it. He's got to be under pressure. They're not winning games. I think they've only won 1 game all season,
August the 9th.
Yeah, so it's an incredibly poor run that they're on, and that's a damaging defeat. If they don't manage to turn it around today, that would be a hugely damaging defeat for me.
As we know, there are no exclusion zones. There are no places where you are above the criticism, above getting your P45. So David Martindale has some real hard work to do, because, as I say, 5 defeats in their last 7. The other 2 were drawn. They simply don't win football matches.
Yeah, it's a worrying start, that, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. I looked at that game today and I thought, right, you're at home. If you're going to get a little bit of confidence, they've been very lucky, because they're not winning games. 1 game, right, and they're still in a situation where a couple of wee wins takes them up that league, takes them out of the pressure pot, but they just can't seem to buy a win for some reason. And okay, there's still a bit of football to go, let's not write them off just now, but it's a long, long way back. And if they do lose this one, well, that's another blow, especially at home.
Yeah, it's a massive team talk, half-time team talk from David Martindale. I think there'll be a few home truths told in that changing room, because
you think so?
It'll be wild in there. But again, it's maybe what they need, because certainly I didn't see that coming. 2 goals from Dundee in the first half to take
big Marv, but well, we remind them on Tuesday when he comes in.
Listen, it's 2-0 now. They're not at half time yet.
Yeah.
No.
Be surprised if he walks in with a Livy tracksuit on Tuesday while things are going.
Surprised if he'd be in on Tuesday.
Anyway, that's the way it lies at the moment. Dundee 2-0 up at Livy. Nothing happening between Dundee United and Motherwell. It might suit the hosts, Gordon. It's been stop-start. Motherwell have been forced into a change at the back, and all of a sudden you're a quarter of the way through the game, and this sort of free-flowing Motherwell haven't been able to get going at all. Neither have you if you're Dundee United, but it might just suit them at the moment.
Yeah, probably will. They're dropping like a stone, Dundee United, and I keep looking at it. Their goalkeeping situation, see, for the outfield I know the outfield players have got to take responsibility, of course I have, but there's a lot of times that as a defender, or even giving the ball away as a forward, and team goes up, you're probably hoping your goalkeeper bails you out. I don't think they've any confidence in any of these goalkeepers for some reason. I've never seen a situation where I would shoot for anywhere, because I think you've got a great chance of scoring.
But then that's what happens again. Oppositions will see a vulnerability in the goalkeeper, and that'll be part of the team talk, part of the conversation before the game, that look, they're chopping and changing their goalkeeper, he's making mistakes, he's not full of confidence, so get your shots away, get your crosses in on top of him. Again, I think that certainly will be part of the conversation.
Did you take that as a criticism when teams were saying just shoot?
I just got used to it over the years.
Bring back Hamish McAlpine.
David Field makes a good point. Dundee United, and how many others, will be mentioned as a potential move for Craig Gordon in January.
Yeah. There'll be a lot. I was down at Kilmarnock yesterday at the stadium doing a little media thing for their club media, and it actually got mentioned again. It was just the media guys, but looking at there, obviously looking for a goalkeeper. Craig Gordon, for me, will be looking for games. I think Dundee United will be after him as well. There'll be a number of teams.
I'm maybe being unfair, and I know this upsets the Kelly fans, but you wonder at his age and stage if maybe the pitch would just come into his mind.
That was mentioned yesterday as well.
And who knows, maybe by January he has a wee look at who's higher up the league table as well.
100%. As I say, I genuinely think there would be a number of clubs that would look at him and want him in their team, because he would certainly improve a lot of teams.
I don't think there's any chance in the world they'll go to Kilmarnock. Absolutely not, because of what you mentioned.
Dundee United.
Yeah, I think Dundee United would be a good fit for him. And I'm not against Kilmarnock. I'm just the fact that the pitch. And I don't think he would go there. I think he'll probably, if he gets a choice between Dundee United and Kilmarnock, I think he goes to Tannadice all day long. For me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree.
Okay, no other goals to tell you about. It's a quiet day on the football front, really, especially in the top flight. That's fallen into our laps, giving us a bit more time to focus on the Super Scoreboard Sports Auction, Cash for Kids Sports Auction. It's ticking along nicely. I'll remind you of the prizes and where we sit with them in the not too distant future. But that is running along in the background, because not only is it League Cup final weekend, we've got a game tonight, the old Saturday 8 o'clock slot that's appeared.
Not just any old game either.
On Sky Sports. It's the league leaders tonight, Hugh.
Yeah, well, there's no point in beating the defending champions Celtic one weekend and then losing to a promoted side, Falkirk, the following weekend. You just undo all of the good work that you did at Celtic Park last Sunday. So, massive game for Derek McInnes' team. They win that, and their next match, I think I'm right in saying, is Rangers at Tynecastle. Now, I call them champions elect. They really could be if they beat Rangers at Tynecastle.
Yeah, you're still sticking with your tip, Hugh, because you were you were going up and down a little bit.
I
when
wobbled.
Celtic,
He was wobbling,
you did wobble.
I wobbled, but so did the team.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's fine.
The champions elect wobbled.
I'm giving you that.
I thought their performance at Celtic, and I do take your point that for the first half hour Celtic looked the part, but then when the goal was scored, collapse.
Celtic had a lot.
They did
of,
well.
They had a lot of possession, and they had opportunities as well, don't get me wrong, but I think you expect that. I looked at Hearts and thought they felt they were comfortable defending their box.
Yeah.
The two centre halves, Finlay and Halkett, they like that. They like balls into the box, defending, not too much of the ball at their feet to play out. They were just doing their defending, great shape about them, and I felt as if they were comfortable within the game. And yeah, listen, I think tonight anyways is a big test, because Falkirk are a good side. They'll move the ball well on their AstroTurf pitch.
Full house tonight, is it? Full house must be.
Oh, will be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I get off them, Cammy, that you don't get off Celtic and Rangers? I get a real togetherness.
Yeah.
The way they celebrated their goals at Celtic Park, everything about them, the relationship with the fans, the relationship between manager and players, there is a real togetherness that you're not getting at Celtic right now, and you're not getting at Rangers either, because the manager was very upset by the performance in midweek in Europe, and we know there's a big transfer window coming up for Celtic and Rangers in January. But right now, Hearts, and this might be the kiss of death, but right now there's a real togetherness about them that promises much.
I think I know what you're saying, right? But as a football side, I think he's getting a tune out of players that I looked at probably last year and thought they're average players. Devlin, for instance, I think he's been absolutely outstanding middle of the park for him. And that's down to good management. The you see Shankland back to what he was. He's always a threat, Shankland. So there's players there, and he's brought in Braga, and he's got a nice balance to it. The two centre halves, as you say, they're as solid as any two centre halves in the league. So I know what you're saying there about that togetherness, but I think Derek's went in there and got the best out of players that had been there.
I think players are enjoying it as well. I looked at a lot of Devlin was an example. You mentioned his name there, and I remember watching the game against Celtic, and you see him smiling about the pitch even when things are going against him. He's enjoying his football, and yes, of course, he will be, because they're sitting top of the tree. But again, I just feel as if you're right. Derek's probably brought that togetherness environment around about Hearts, and listen, they're a top team. I think they've got a solid base to their team as well. Their goalkeeper's decent, their centre halves are really good, and they've got guys that can score goals.
So Cammy, I look at the league table. If Hearts win tonight, I underline if Hearts win, they go 6 points clear of Celtic. They go 12 points clear. Am I right? Yes, 12 points clear of Rangers, who don't play until Monday night. So you put Rangers under real pressure. But I maintain the biggest pressure of all is on Hearts, because they must deliver tonight and then look forward to the Rangers game. There's no point in celebrating your win over Celtic if you then drop points the very next game.
Partick Thistle have started motoring all of a sudden. Dan O'Reilly should have scored. They controlled the cross at the back post. He then pulled his shot across the goal. Now a good save low to the left by McAdams from Alex Samuel from 16 yards. Tony Watt had an effort as well. Luke Macbeth had a 30-yarder. So all of a sudden Partick Thistle are knocking on the door, but no way through yet. Samuel's on for the injured Astley for Dundee, but they are 2-0 up anyway at Livingston, and still nothing between Motherwell and Dundee, or Dundee United and Motherwell, I should say.
Well, I would find it very hard to believe that game could finish goalless. As I say, Motherwell last 4 games, 4 clean sheets. If they get one, go in front, they might have every chance of that being the only goal necessary. Right, let's do some work on the prizes that are available between now and 4 o'clock on the sports auction, because we got off to a good start, but we've slowed down, and I think if we go through it and realise how much these prizes are actually worth, then we add on a little bit, because we're giving it to Cash for Kids. That's the whole point. I think we can really up some of these bids, in particular this Celtic package, because there are 2 director's box tickets with hospitality for Celtic against Utrecht in the Europa League. What would that cost you? Let's add on to that further 2 director's box tickets with hospitality for the Hibs game. Add that on. You've then got a shirt signed by the current squad, who may well win the League Cup tomorrow. Add that on. Add that on. And then the money can't buy element, the chance to meet Callum McGregor and the manager before both games. I think that's worth thousands, and I really, really appreciate the anonymous bid that we've got so far of 1,500. I think we're talking double that, Hugh Keevins. Do you know what I'm going to say to you? The first thought that occurred to me about that particular prize, that's a parent and child type prize, because you know my grandson Archie, you've met him. He wanted, because he lives in England, he wanted to go when he was up here on a tour of Celtic Park, and the guy doing the tour said to me, "You must have seen everything in here." And I said, "I haven't seen it through his eyes." And that's the great thing. If you take your child to see that, experience that kind of prize, director's box tickets, meeting the players, it's a real parent and child prize, I think.
I think it's a 2 adult prize if you want to make the most of the hospitality. But you could look at it both ways. But honestly, there's so much there. 2 director's box hospitality for Utrecht, and again for Hibs, and a signed shirt, and a meet and greet with the captain and manager before both games. That is worth a fortune. 0141 565 2468. You've got less than half an hour to get your bids in for that. And as I said, even on top of what you think it's worth, we're giving money to Cash for Kids here. Rangers hospitality, I would listen into this, Rangers fans, because there's actually a bargain going, I think, at the moment. William Muir, we appreciate the £800, but this is Rangers hospitality for 4 at 2 games. So it's only sitting at £800 at the moment. So that's £100.
Yeah. Per person.
Per game. I mean, it shouldn't be about bargains. It should be about getting the money to Cash for Kids. So, like I say, it's not to sound cheeky. I really do appreciate William Muir's bid, but it's hospitality for 4 at Ibrox for 2 games. It's worth loads. It is worth absolutely loads. Again, 0141 565 2468. And of course the Glasgow Warriors package there as well. That's only sitting at £200. It's for 4 people. It's worth way more than 50 quid a head, because you're getting a 2-course meal. There's a free bar. You can drink that. Please drink responsibly. You could easily do that. It's a free bar, a 2-course meal, and 4 tickets to the match, plus the Q&A and all that stuff. So again, worth way more than that. 0141 565 2468. You've got 25 minutes left on those 3.
So Livy still trailing 2-0. 0-0 Tannadice and 0-0 Arbroath. So there's plenty of scope for further excitement at all those grounds. Maswanisi's been booked for taking down Fata, some injury he had. He was down 2 or 3 times. When does Must when he go to the AFCON?
Yeah, it must be soon.
Yeah.
It'll be, is it after this one or maybe one more in him? Yeah, I think it might be after this one, so it'll be pretty soon.
They'll miss him.
Oh, top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Of course they'll miss him.
Interesting because he's a bit more direct than the rest, isn't he? He's maybe got a bit more that sort of pace, and he's the top scorer, as you say. But it's not bad to have Reagan, Charles Cook and Ibrahim Said sitting on the bench today.
No, I think that they do have strength and depth, but again, you never want your top striker, top goal scorer to go away. I think you're right, he does bring something different, the pace in behind. He's a top player, and he will be a miss. There's no getting away from it.
To be fair, the way this manager's going about his business, he's making 7 changes at times, and nobody's been missed.
No,
quite telling. He tends to start most of them though,
well,
when the others rotate round about him.
Yeah, and I understand why you always try and get your goal scorer on the pitch. But yeah, of course. But he's got good backup, because I think if you look at this Motherwell squad, they're a decent squad.
Well, the top scoring left back going about, Manny Longello, he's not starting today. David Friel saying they're missing him. He should be on. He could well get introduced at some point. You can forget all the TV coverage and national newspapers, Hugh, and that's it, taken over, because Mo Salah's come on. An early substitution.
Well,
so there we go, and talk about that for the next 10 days.
I've been looking at his body language on the telly, and
they'll have somebody will have a lip reading expert, a body language expert.
You're not fancying it, Hughes? You're not fancying?
No, I think he did his grace.
Do you?
I mean, I know he's one of Liverpool's greatest ever players, but the way he's conducted himself in recent days, I just think he shows that attitude of, I am more important than the club.
How brilliant was the video? Did you see it with the Liverpool press officer?
Yeah.
Was he, when he was watching the interview, he was doing
and as soon as Salah says the club's thrown me under the bus, the guy just closes his eyes, winces, puts his hand over his face. Why me? And just knows what the next week is going to look like for him. I've watched it about 15 times over and over.
He's then got to go to Arne Slot and say, Gaffer,
hear what he said out there.
It's about Mo. So anyway, he'll probably end up scoring a hat-trick before the day's out, and he'll be back as...
Be interesting the reaction that he would have got from the fans.
Very interesting, because it would be a mixed reaction.
Yeah, no, totally. I've got some friends that are Liverpool fans and are with you and think he's an absolute disgrace of what he's done. So whereas other ones again are kind of understanding of it, there's a lot of frustration about the club, because results haven't gone their way they wanted it to go this season so far. So yeah.
Max Waters down the box at Tannadice, but never a penalty, says David Friel. Play on. So on we go, heading towards a goalless first half. There'll be a bit of additional time there, though. There was that nasty head collision between Elliot Watt and Stephen Welsh, both Motherwell players, and Stephen Welsh coming off worse and having to be withdrawn from the action. There's a shock result brewing in League 2. Dumbarton lead league leaders East Kilbride by 2-0.
Oh, yeah. That's massive, especially Dumbarton get knocked out of the cup walking leg at home, and East Kilbride are absolutely
change
new manager since then.
What do you make of that, Dazzler? Auchinleck having to move the Celtic tie to Rugby Park?
Look, I think everyone Auchinleck would have loved nothing better to have the game at their own pitch. I've been there. It doesn't make sense for me. Plus the fact the money that Auchinleck will make from the tie.
They don't want to move it though.
I know they don't, Gordon, but that's just junior football, and I can understand it because that's the way they are. But I know that there's other clubs here, United, and I've been there, isn't it?
But that's why I'd like to know the real specifics. I don't know if we ever will, because it's a joint decision or joint guidance by the police, by East Ayrshire Council, by the Scottish FA. But I think that's the one question the layman is asking. What's the difference between Hearts going there and Celtic going there?
Yeah, and again, because it was a full stadium, I don't know if there's more risk to trouble. I'm unsure, and you're right, a lot of people are asking why, what is the reason, and again, transparency is what everyone wants, but whether we'll get it, probably not. So it'll be interesting. It's a shame though, it is a shame that it's getting moved to Rugby Park, because I think it takes any little bit of doubt away and hope.
To be fair, no, it's not. Auchinleck have been to Rugby Park many a time, won the Junior Cup, many a time under Tucker Sloan. So Look, I've been there. It's a long time since I've been there. I would love to be standing watching those Celtic players getting off the
Do you know
bus.
what? It just occurred to me about going down to Ayr United later on. I'm going to see what kind of picture tributes there are to Gordon Dalziel in Somerset Park.
Just go and look for the league wins and the cup final and the semi-finals and you'll be there for a while.
Yeah.
But none of them will be of me. I've been removed. I've been well into it.
Are you a non-person?
I've been removed from Ayrshire. In fact, I get stopped at Moncton on the way in last week. And
Raith Rovers 3, Ross County 0 with only 37 minutes gone.
And worse than that, Queen's Park, who are second bottom, they've taken the lead against Dunfermline. So the gap between Ross County at the bottom and Queen's Park second bottom could be much bigger.
I'm going to say, if this gets any worse, this could be the end of the road.
Yeah.
And on that Dunfermline losing, condolences, Hugh. Neil Lennon sadly losing his dad in the last couple of days.
Yeah, Neil's mother sadly passed not so very long ago as well. I don't think Neil will be anywhere near football this weekend. It's a time to be with family. And our deepest condolences to Neil Lennon.
Right, what we're going to get before the end of these first halves. We've had a bit of movement on one of our all-day prizes. David Kerner is now in the driving seat for the Andy Murray signed memorabilia at £1,505 to be specific. That's a really generous offer, David, and we thank you so much. It is unbelievable. I wish I'd recorded Cammy Bell's face when we brought this into the studio. If you're a sports fan, this is one of the best collector's items you can get. An Andy Murray racket from Wimbledon when he won it the first time, signed photos, the tennis balls are in there, even just the display case, the way that it's presented. I wasn't joking earlier. I reckon that frame will be worth a couple of £100 to a few £100.
Yeah.
Then add on the stuff that's in it.
As you mentioned, the presentation of it, the value, the stuff that's in it, it's just an incredible prize.
Do you know the thing that strikes me, with footballers, shirts, all the rest of it, that it's commonplace, but how often do you see, and he is the greatest ever Scottish sports person, how often do you see someone of that stature with a prize of that nature? You just never get it.
And by the way, if you can't quite find the breakthrough on any of these items, head over to our Twitter feed, X feed, whatever you want. There is a link there to a silent auction, and between you and I and everybody else, there was actually some bargains to be had on that last year, because there's a lot of items on there. There's ones that we haven't managed to get in the main auction. There's so many people trying to look at all different things. There's actually some bargains to be had, and you could be boosting the Cash for Kids coffers at the same time. So go and check out that silent auction. The link is there on our Twitter feed. There is now another injury. Lucas Stevenson. David Friel says this first half will finish about 4 o'clock for him.
Poor old Hamilton Accies, 2 down now. Things just go from bad to worse.
That's a long journey home.
Yeah.
Made that many a time.
Who's actually Jadder?
McKinnon.
Oh, Darian McKinnon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Former player.
Here's a bit of a shock one for you, and if you think about what this career trajectory has looked like in recent seasons, because he's the standout player, or certainly one of them, in the Championship this season. It's been reported this afternoon, Fraser Wishart's just brought it to my attention, that Josh McPake is going to move to Hearts.
Wow.
He's at St Johnstone at the moment. Last year, Josh McPake was at Stirling Albion. Of course, started as a kid at Rangers, a few loan moves, maybe lost his way a little bit, wound up at Stirling Albion, clearly too good for that level, and went to St Johnstone, and is now set to go to Hearts.
Incredible. I actually watched him at Stirling Albion against Annan, and I couldn't believe that it was him on the pitch. He was again an absolute standout on the day. He's had a brilliant season. He's so influential for St Johnstone, and yes, listen, that actually sounds about a right fit for me, where he could go. He was always really highly thought of at Rangers, just didn't make the breakthrough, couldn't quite cut it. As you say, Gordon lost his way a little bit, but it's really good to see he's still a really young guy who's then made his way back into the game, and he's thriving on it this season at St Johnstone.
And you'd hardly ask better than to move to the club who are top of the Premiership table.
Going from the top of the Championship to the top of the Premiership.
Yeah, in a single leap. Superman.
It's his Arsenal move.
Mark Wilson might be happy though that he's getting out of that division.
Yeah,
You always want to
exactly.
see your rivals lose their good
It's
players.
still a thrilling 0-0 up there as Fraser still got his seatbelt on.
It is.
Just in case he gets blown away.
Also, Elliot Watts had to go for Motherwell, but it's miles over the bar, says David Friel. That's not a particularly good description, is it? Actually, half-time whistles are starting to go. So here's your 15-minute warning on the 3 to 4 p.m. prizes. We have that unbelievable Celtic prize. It's packed full of stuff. Absolutely packed full of stuff. It's 2 director's box tickets with hospitality for the Utrecht and the Hibs games, a signed shirt, a meet and greet with the manager and the captain before both of those games. I'm trying to add that up in my head. That is worth thousands before you even get to the money can't buy element of it with the meet and greet. So David's in the lead with 2,200. I think we can get it up a bit higher. I did say I would shamelessly play you off against each other, all in the name of Cash for Kids. The prize, kindly donated by Rangers in the first hour, went for 2,500. Celtic fans, you're at 2,200. You need to up that, I'm afraid. That's the way it works in this city. The Rangers hospitality for 4 for 2 games, though. Thank you so much to Graham Ruff from Education Academy Scotland, sitting at £1,600. Very good, very generous. But if you break that down, that's still £200 per head per game. I think we can go up. Get the bids in, please. And we're finally getting a bit of movement on the Glasgow Warriors. It's hospitality for 4. Andy House is winning with a bid of 350. But again, 4 people, that's well under £100 a head. It's a free bar, a 2-course meal, tickets to the game. Come on, there's good value to be had there, and that's before we even get to donating money that the children need. 0141 565 2468. You've got about 15 minutes left on that. 5 minutes added at Tannadice. Finally a shot on goal from Zach Sapsford. It's low and it is saved. So that game not quite living up to what people thought it might.
No, sadly. I'm just wondering about the 3-course meal I'm getting at Ayr United. I think we'll have a good word with Graham Matthew or with Roger Hanna's pal David Smith, the chairman. I dare say they'd want to give me a complimentary bottle of red, wouldn't you?
Well, you can get in my old office. There'll be a couple still there.
Yeah.
Just dust them down. Help yourself.
But I can't mention your name because you've told us you're now persona non grata.
Oh, I don't know why.
No?
I've no idea. But the town of Ayr have turned against the Dazzler.
What makes you say that? This is made up.
Oh, well, I'm the only person in the world never to be invited to their 100th anniversary.
How bitter is he?
I'm very. But, hold on a minute. One of the most successful managers in their history.
You actually justify that.
And let me
Keep
tell
going.
you, bitter is coming pouring out my veins, and rightly so. The happiness I gave that town. Not just even a Saturday, a Wednesday night when I was out having a good time as well. Joining in. The pleasure I brought to that place.
That's it, you just keep winding them up, Cammy. Right, we surely we'll get our first half-time whistle very soon. I suspect it's probably going to be Fraser Wishart, I would imagine, up there in the wind in Arbroath. And he won't be far away. Roger Hanna probably just behind him, and David Friel will bring up the rear because there's 5 added at Tannadice after a head knock, another injury, a few people going down off the ball as well. There's been quite a bit happening in the way of stoppages, not a lot in the way of goalmouth action, but maybe that's to follow in the second half. It is half time in Arbroath. Here's Fraser.
It is Arbroath 0, Partick Thistle 0. It took the players a real while to get to grips with the win, and even then not really getting too much in terms of goals and goal action at either end. The wind was just too strong to be an advantage for Thistle in the first half. Any ball over the top just ran out the park. And on the other hand, Arbroath's clearances, including those from goalkeeper Aidan McAdams, were just blown back towards his own goal. The first effort and goal was in 20 minutes for the Jags. Tony Watt did really well, chased a long ball, also bouncing out the park into the penalty box. Did well get his volley away in a tight angle, but it was well over. And at the other end, Brooklyn Cabangolo actually got his head to a down corner, flicked up in the air, and the wind blew the ball out of the penalty box, which just shows how bad the conditions were. But Thistle began to take control with a series of chances in quick succession. Macbeth tried his lock from 30 yards, wind assisted, slight deflection, took it inches wide. Then 1 minute later, a really great chance for Dan O'Reilly. The centre half found himself free at the back post. Really good chest control, but his shot with his weaker right foot was across the goalkeeper and wide, and he should have scored. Alex Samuel then thought he had scored. His low shot from 16 yards with his left foot, a really great save, low, just really close to him, but Aidan McAdams managed to push the ball away. But for Arbroath at this stage, just about seeing out the first half, a real struggle to get up the pitch. But after that flurry of Thistle chances, there was no real threats to the McAdams goal. In fact, it was Arbroath who had a couple of half chances towards the break. Finlay Marshall, Arbroath's first shot, 44 minutes, he pulled his shot with his left foot across the goalkeeper and a couple of yards wide in, and then Riley had a good shot as well, saved comfortably by Clark. You do wonder whether Thistle might actually enjoy playing against the wind, but they need to keep the ball on the ground if they're going to get anywhere near Arbroath's goal in this second half. The wind winning this one so far, half time Arbroath 0, Partick Thistle 0.
Also half time in the big game at the bottom of the Premiership, Livingston and Dundee, watched by Roger Hannah.
Yeah, Livingston 0, Dundee 2 at the break. David Martindale's players booed off by the home fans at the break because Stephen Presley's Dark Blues thoroughly deserved their advantage at the interval. They could have been ahead after just 5 minutes. Cameron Congreve's cross from the right, just too high for Tony Ugani at the back post. 3 right and flashed a right foot shot over the top of Jerome Prio's bar from 25 yards in 12 minutes. But then 2 goals in a 5 minute spell really moved the game in Dundee's favour. 13 minutes, a long range shot by Ethan Hamilton, the goalkeeper. Prior got down, he pushed it out, but it was unconvincing, and Jan Danda was first to react to knock the ball into the unguarded net. And then 5 minutes later, Ugani down the left hand side, get past Joshua Brenhead far too easily, a delivery to the back post, and there was no one near Congreve as he easily converted the chance for 2-0. It was a blow for Dundee. They lost Ryan Astley after 28 minutes of injury. On came left back Murray Samuels with right going over to right back role. Livy tried to get back into the game, desperately chased a foothold. The closest he came in 34 minutes. Scott Pittman's shot saved low down to his left by John McCracken. The jeers of the home fans, as I say, at the half-time whistle. United blew a 2-goal half-time lead last night. I'm not convinced, Gordon. We'll see a repeat here this afternoon. At the break, it's Livingston 0, Dundee 2.
And finally, half-time Tannadice, David Friel.
Yeah, not a classic here. Gordon half-time, Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0. It's normally been entertaining watching Motherwell's games this season, but it's been a pretty dull first half. United have managed to frustrate and contain them. Jim Goodwin, I think, will be the happier manager. We'll have had 2 efforts in target. The first was a tame Callum Hendry header. It was never going to beat Dave Richards. Motherwell suffered a blow during the half. Stephen Welsh forced off with a head injury, collided with Elliot Watt. It looked innocuous, but he was carrying a blood-soaked bandage as he walked off. Liam Gordon came on to replace him. Motherwell have played a better football as they normally do, but it's all been in the midfield, very little action in both boxes. Callum Ward didn't make a save until injury time when he gathered a Sapsford shot. Tamas Winisi then tested Dave Richards with a low effort before the break. But let's hope the second half is a lot better. It's not been a classic so far. Half time, Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0.
Oh well, not a lot happening on the pitch, but the good news for you, there's loads happening in our auction room. You have 8 minutes left on the Celtic package, which is 2 Director's Box tickets with hospitality for Utrecht and for Hibs, and a signed shirt, and a meet and greet with Callum McGregor and Wilfred Nancy before both games. It is worth a fortune. We're up at £2,500 thanks to Marco Ferrari. I think we can do more in the next 7 minutes. The Rangers hospitality for 4 people for 2 games. Still that Graham Ruff £1,600. Again, it's 2 games, it's 4 people, that's only £200 ahead. I think we can squeeze more out of that one. And the Glasgow Warriors hospitality for 4. We're now moving in the right direction there, I think. Alan at BK Joiners sitting at £600. If you want to outbid them in the next 7 minutes, give us a call right now please on 0141 565 2468.
565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
It is getting serious. You have 2 minutes left on the following prizes. It is the Celtic package. We're now up to £3,000, but it's a stunning prize. 2 Director's Box tickets and hospitality for Utrecht. Same prize again for the Hibs game. Signed shirt, meet and greet with captain and manager before both games. Graham Ruff is getting himself a bargain. £1,600. Rangers hospitality for 4 people, but at 2 games. That is a bargain at £1,600. If you want to outbid on that one, callers right now, and we're up at £1,000 for the Glasgow Warriors. You've got 2 minutes left. 0141 565 2468, and use the break wisely. Head over to our Twitter feed, scroll down, you'll see the link to the silent auction, because there's some great prizes there that are actually going very cheap at the moment as well. We will announce the winners of those prizes when we return.
Together we can win.
Parents start to feel themselves that they can't provide.
Spend my whole life chasing good times.
The rest of the world is celebrating, there's lights everywhere.
We also know of parents who don't eat. The kids are obviously the priority.
Just being able to buy clothes for our daughter was huge.
When the road is calling home and my heart is full of hope.
Our goal: to help make Christmas better for those who would otherwise miss out.
Cash for Kids helps us make the difference for these young people.
And they had allowed the child £5 of the voucher.
They can actually have a Christmas rather than just a Thursday.
You felt as though you had gave them £500. They were so grateful for it.
0141 565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
The second half's just about to get underway in our featured matches, and in the Cash for Kids Sports Auction, let me now bring to a close the 3 until 4 p.m. items. Thank you so much. We got a bit of a bidding war at the end there, and we really appreciate your generosity. So that Celtic package, kindly donated by Celtic, the director's box tickets to hospitality for Utrecht and Hibs, a signed shirt, and the meet and greet with the manager and captain before both games. That's gone for £3,400. Thank you to Marco Ferrari for that one. The Rangers hospitality for 4, but for 2 games goes to Gary Thompson, I think. Yep, looks like Gary at £2,000. And the Glasgow Warriors hospitality package goes for £1,000 as well. So thank you so much for the generosity.
Yeah, it's all building up nicely, and it is a great cause. We say it every year. We wish we didn't have to have a Cash for Kids auction day, but we do, and the need is increasing, and we've actually had to stop taking applications, as you well know, Gordon, because of the volume of applications for help. So the kids need every pound that we can raise today.
Absolutely. And a quick mention for our sponsor, Central Car Auctions. Jason Miller and the team, they're supporting the auction, and they've kick-started today's fundraising with a £10,000 donation, which is absolutely incredible. Don't forget, before I announce the next set of prizes to run between now and 5 o'clock, we do have our all-day prizes, and they are incredible. The Andy Murray memorabilia, I've not been able to take my eyes off it in the corner of this studio. It's sitting at £1,505, but it is incredible. A real, if you're into your sporting memorabilia, it's hard to beat this. We're talking Scotland's greatest ever sportsman, arguably. The frame itself is worth hundreds of pounds, and then once you look inside the frame, a racket used by Andy Murray. It was all linked to his first Wimbledon win in 2013. It's all signed. It's got tennis balls in there. It looks absolutely amazing, and I think, as generous as David Kerner's £1,505 bid is, I think it's worth more, especially for Cash for Kids. So keep the bids coming in. And the signed Scotland shirt as well. Ross Cameron's winning on £1,000, a very generous offer, but again, this is the team that got Scotland to that World Cup. Let's see what more we can do. These are all day prizes, along with, in my humble opinion, the best of the lot, because it's the one that everybody can get involved in. Text CAR to 84901, £5 donation to Cash for Kids. That's it, £5, and you're in the hat for the brand new car, the JQ5, worth well over £20,000, donated by Arnold Clark. Are we going to get more goals in the second half?
Well, there's a certain fascination going on about the Raith Rovers Ross County game, of course, because Ross County, bottom of the championship, 3 down at half time to Dougie Emery's Raith Rovers, and they won't come back from being 3 down, that's for sure. The only piece of intrigue, Cammy, I think, is, does it go higher?
Yeah, and that's the question. Obviously, we know that Tony Docherty, it's not worked out for him since he's came in. They're sitting bottom of the league. They've conceded 31 goals in 17 games. That's nearly 2 goals a game. That's
Tony's
incredible.
record since he came in? He's won many games, has he?
No, their form hasn't changed all season. It's been so poor.
Oh my goodness,
wow.
Raith Rovers 4, Ross County 0. At Tannadice, Gordon have decided if Motherwell can win there today, they're title contenders, and if they don't, then it's all over. That's how fickle I'm going to be about the next 45
you're going
minutes.
very early. We're not even at Christmas. Look, I always thought that'd be a tight game. I think because of the situation, Dundee United needs something. You know, Jim will probably be hearing 1 or 2 criticisms coming his way because of recent form, because of obviously the goalkeeping situation, as we got a big goal.
Goal flashes
with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Partick Thistle had the better of the first half, but it is Arbroath who come out quicker in the second. Finlay Marshall with 50 minutes on the clock, and it is Arbroath 1, Partick Thistle 0.
I would love nothing better than Mark to go and win that league, I really would, but you go to Arbroath, we've all been there, and a day like this, Mark's changed his formation, changed his team to go with the conditions, quite rightly so. I'm right behind him with that one. Arbroath are doing very well. They would have fancied that. Still a bit to go, but I'm not surprised Arbroath have scored the first goal.
We're all World Cup oriented, of course. Tommy Conway has scored for Middlesbrough. We could do with a prolific goal scorer emerging between now and June.
Yeah, he'll be throwing his hat back into the ring, won't he? Because he's been in squads before. He's having quite a good season.
Yeah, again, we spoke about it, and this is the opportunity for these guys to go on a good run between now and the end of the season. Middlesbrough flying high as well, so if he can be in a promoted Middlesbrough team towards the end of the season, scoring goals, and why not be in the squad?
Right, these are your next set of auction items. They will run between now and 5 o'clock, so again, you'll have to be quick. They might be losing today at the moment, but they're still right up there at the top of the table. This is a brilliant prize for you Partick Thistle fans. It is an exclusive experience donated by Partick Thistle and our old pal Mark Wilson. You get to go to a training session. Not everybody can do that. Talk about money can't buy. You go to a training session on the Friday morning before a league game. You then get lunch with Mark Wilson, Alex Ray and the team up at Peters Hill, and then the next day hospitality for 4 people at the Cairnhill Lounge. So it's 1pm till 6pm. It's for league games only, valid for the rest of the season. But that's brilliant. See, if you're a Partick Thistle fan, what an experience that would be. You're having one of the best seasons you've had in years. You get, for 4 people, go and watch training, lunch with the team, and then hospitality for 4 at the game the next day. I think that's a brilliant prize.
Yeah. Nothing like a wee day out at Firhill. Always a great experience. And for the true fan that wants to see Mark Wilson, the Maryhill Guardiola, now's your chance.
You're going too far. The good thing about that is, as a supporter, you get to look at how they prepare, especially on a Friday, because it's all tactical stuff. There'll be video stuff there. There'll be maybe a little bit of shape, everything. And then if you can go and see it getting put into, play on the Saturday, it's a fantastic experience.
Yeah, there's a money can't buy element to that until today. Not many times you get to exclusively invited to your team's training and sit and watch it, and then, like we said, lunch with the team, hospitality at the game the next day for 4 people as well. Partick Thistle fans, that's a cracking prize to kick us off. We're trying to get around as many clubs as we can, because what about you Falkirk fans? And actually, see the names I'm about to mention? I think this extends beyond Falkirk fans. An evening with Scott Arfield and Russell Latipi. That's been donated by 5 Stars. It's a perfect evening. It includes a signed top as well. That is on Saturday. It's at the end of February in Falkirk. It's got live interviews, Q&As, 2-course meal, VIP meet and greet with photo opportunity as well. So I think whether you're a Falkirk fan, Rangers fan, anyone even with a kind of big interest in Scottish football, I think Scott Arfield and Russell Latipi, that could be a cracking night. That, so you get your food and drink and whatever in there as well. So give us a call if you want to bid for that one. And finally, Casa Ferrari Hospitality. We did say we like to branch out away from football at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Now it's for 2 people, donated by Ferrari Glasgow. This, for any petrol heads out there, is an unforgettable motorsport VIP experience. 2 guests to Casa Ferrari Hospitality at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. That's one of the UK motorsport's biggest and best events. It's held in the grounds of Goodwood Estate, I'm sure many of you know. So it's 2 hospitality tickets for a full day. It's in July. Up close access to some of the greatest cars, from modern supercars, some of the historic racing machines, and various other displays and all that sort of stuff that goes on at the festival. It includes tickets obviously to the festival as well. You get the food, the drinks, all that sort of stuff. So it is a brilliant prize. Travel to and from the event not included, but I'm sure you could manage to get yourself down there for what would be a wonderful prize. So the Goodwood Festival, the Falkirk Legends and the Partick Thistle package, all running until 5 o'clock. Be quick and give us a call for a bid on 01415652468.
Well, for all the petrol heads, as you call them, Gordon, surely the Dazzler should be there so that they can meet Sting.
Sting.
as you called it.
Yeah, I've got it mixed up, Hugh. I'll do.
If Stig's there as well, it'd be a help. But
yeah, I was never into that. What was the programme
Top
called?
Gear.
I was never a Top Gear fan, but listen, great prizes, I've got to say.
Yeah, really good. United have come out firing at the start of the second half. Fata's had a shot blocked. He's then gone close again with a long run and a shot. They're up for it, shooting down the slope, says David Friel. See, just
your Motherwell have gone quiet today, have they?
Yeah, they have a bit.
Well, do you know what? I would probably say if you come away from Tannadice with a point, you'd be okay. But I think there's a goal in that game. I really do. I think the next goal's a winner there. I'm brave to go with that situation. Statement, sorry.
Producer Ryan reckons he's done a bit of research on the Andy Murray prize, one of the all-day ones, and reckons it is worth multiple thousands, this prize, and that's before you add on your cash for kids tax to give a bit of extra money to the kids. Never mind what you're getting in return. David Kerner's bid of £1,505 is lovely and it's generous. This is worth a fortune. It is an absolute beauty. It's a massive big frame, Andy Murray's racket, signed picture. It's got all the bells and whistles, and it's from the first Wimbledon that he won in 2013. The options for that are endless. See, if you collect that sort of thing, if you've got a sports bar, a room in the house, and you know what, to put a more cynical financial view in it, see in a few years' time, worth an absolute fortune. He's arguably Scotland's greatest ever sportsman, so get your bids in for that. That's one of the all-day prizes, though. I can already see some of you coming in with the bids that we've got going at the moment. I love that Partick Thistle prize. I think that is great, getting to watch the team train, 4 of you, then lunch with the team, then hospitality the next day. Loads happening there. Anything else to note? Edinburgh City 1, Clyde 2 in League 2, Peterhead 2, Kelty 1, Annan 1, 4 for 1, Inverness 3, Hamilton Accies 0. So loads happening down the divisions. Just need a bit more from Tannadice, really.
Well, I suppose Motherwell were due a bump in the road somewhere. But it's still the 5th game in succession in which they have not lost a goal so far, and that in itself would be quite an achievement. As the Dazzler said, you get out of Tannadice with a point.
Yeah, you take it, Hugh.
Yeah,
Listen,
and especially if you keep a clean sheet.
Going to Tannadice was never going, no matter what form Dundee United are in, it's never an easy game to go up there and win the game. So listen, they'll be comfortable where they're at. As you say, they've not conceded a goal. It's still 0-0 at the moment. They're taking a point away, but they'll be trying to build on that, as will Dundee United. So it'll be intriguing to see how that one actually ends.
Rangers were very happy to take a point out of Tannadice.
Absolutely.
Only last weekend. So fascinating weekend altogether. The way, in a negative sense, the way that poor old Hamilton are struggling, 3 down. Ross County bottom of the championship, 3 down.
It'd have been interesting to see what David Martindale said at his half-time team talk, because I think, as I said before, I think there'd be some home truths told in there, and he'll be looking for a reaction. So it'll be interesting the first sort of 10 minutes. Has there been any sort of reaction from his team, or are Dundee still comfortable within the game?
I think parental guidance might have been necessary for that half-time team talk.
People are starting to wisen up on the Andy Murray framed memorabilia. It's now gone for sitting at £2,600. It was heading in the right direction. Still worth way more than that, but we are heading in the right direction.
As I say, to call it a collector's item is an understatement. You just don't get things like this with Andy Murray. I mean, he reached the pinnacle with the Wimbledon Championship, but you never hear of anything. Tennis players throw towels into the crowd or throw a ball into the crowd or whatever, but this is exceptional.
Yeah, it really is. And easy to forget perhaps just how tough that era was and what he had to compete with, winning a couple of Wimbledons, a US Open, Olympic medals, world number 1, and all of that represented in this brilliant
but apart from that, what's he done?
You're in the same era as Federer, Djokovic, so
Nadal, yeah. It was an incredible era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fata's sclaffed a volley well wide from 18 yards, but he does seem to be at the heart of everything Dundee United are doing at the moment. They are looking slightly more likely. Certainly Motherwell dominated possession in the first half, as they tend to do, but created nothing. Dundee United didn't create much either. And there we go, maybe we get more action in the second half. Are we getting any? Still nothing coming through yet in the old Partick Thistle package and the Falkirk Legends.
Nothing yet.
No.
That's 4 will need to go.
Could do.
Yeah.
Well,
Cammy might get a game.
I'll get you there.
I'll let Ray give me a lift home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go, there, Hugh. Right, and get another Gino out that pocket, Hugh. You've got another 3 left, I see.
You could do a bit of tactics on the Friday.
Yeah.
Set pieces, talk them through it.
I could be the striker coach.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I'd pay money to watch that.
Would
actually.
you?
Yeah.
I'm a terrific coach. That's why I was so successful at Ayr, but never get invited.
I'll need to discuss this with him when I go there.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be giving you notes, plenty of them.
Don't forget, we rounded off in the last hour, so in case you're wondering if you missed the line being drawn under it, the Rangers package, the Celtic package, and the Glasgow Warriors package as well. That one went to Alan at BK Joiners for £1,000. Well done to Alan. That sounds like a good night out there. And we're on to the next batch. Partick Thistle, Falkirk, and the Casa Ferrari Hospitality at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Right, finally somebody's coming in on Partick Thistle. Let's see what we've got. £350, which is a lovely opening bid, much appreciated. But it is the chance to watch training for 4 people. It is lunch with the team for 4 people. It is hospitality at the game the next day for 4 people. So let's see if we can get some generosity in on that one and put some much needed funds towards Cash for Kids. Are you looking forward to the League Cup final tomorrow, Hugh?
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating because, as I said earlier, Wilfred Nancy said that good results buy him time. Bad results and the loss of a cup final to the team 9th in the Premiership is a calamitous result. Bad results buy you trouble. So he's really got to come across. I know that people are saying that it's hysterical, the furore that has surrounded the man since he lost to Hearts and then lost to Roma. However, it is a cup final. Celtic are expected to win these things. The crowd at the moment are in a rebellious frame of mind, not happy at all. An evacuation of the stadium on Thursday night when the fans thought that Celtic had gone 4 down and VAR saved them. So, huge afternoon. And then I remember only too well the last time St Mirren won a League Cup final when Danny Lennon was in charge. The celebrations in Paisley were lavish, to say the least. So for the town of Paisley, a huge day. And for the Celtic manager, a huge day. Fascinating.
It's got a bit of an edge to it, you've got to say. Especially with the situation, as you quite rightly pointed out, about the pressure of the Celtic manager win the trophy after the start he's had. St Mirren getting a good result last weekend, full week to prepare. Obviously, we know that
I think repair would have worked there. You almost said repair. I think that's
I did. I nearly said that.
Because you can repair yourself after the...
Oh, it gets worse for the Jags.
It does indeed.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
The good news is, if you want to bid in the Partick Thistle prize, you get to see them try and bounce back from this defeat, perhaps. Arbroath 2, Partick Thistle 0, Gavin Riley.
And we can't promise you who the manager and assistant will be at the time, but you're still more than welcome to go along.
You're a bad man.
How is your luck when you go to Cove for a cup tie and they call it off half an hour before it's due to start, and you have to come back down the road, and then on the Saturday off you go, Arbroath, and you're 2 down? And incidentally, I thought the loudest laugh of the week was the Dazzler when you broke the news to him that Cove had been called off.
It was brilliant, especially when we were there. There's nothing better, but
you don't mean that for the fans though. We've got sympathy for the fans.
No,
yes,
not at all.
Okay,
for Mark and Alec getting off that bus, preparation, everything, they travel up and then they've got to sit in the bus all the way back down and listen to each other. They'd have probably ran out of conversation by then, wouldn't they? They too.
Definite.
Oh, go on, you say something first.
Motherwell starting to tick a bit. Elijah Just has had a shot deflected over.
Good player.
He is brilliant, if I do say so. Callum Slattery wide from the edge of the box. He might be one of the finds of the season, actually. Elijah Just.
Yeah, he's a really good player, very talented and exciting to watch as well, isn't he? A key part of the way that Motherwell play. I think he's suited to that style of play and enjoying his silly, you can see he's enjoying his football. But touching back on Partick Thistle and Arbroath, it's a big win for Arbroath. It brings them within 6 points of Partick. We spoke about how well they're doing as a part-time club in that league. Consistency.
Got a big goal in Livingston. Is it game on or game over?
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's game on. It's Bokila with the goal. He burst away from Cometio. It's a fierce finish. He is an experienced goal getter. You can tell with the way he takes some of his finishes. It's out the blue, this one, but I don't think David Martindale will mind, because Livy 1, Dundee 2, and that looks different.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the fans who were booing will now be getting behind the team as much as they can, because you've got half an hour left to play. Plenty of scope there. And I'm just thinking an interesting category came off the top of your head there, Gordon. The find of the season. You know, we get goal of the season, player of the season, match of the season.
Well, I'll chuck Elijah just in and challenge anyone to top it. I would say
Claudio Braga.
Yep, although Kizaridis for sure, they both started the season brilliant. But they've got the fancy computer that does it. I need to speak to the guy that, well, I think he is just a manager. Well, I think he worked with Jens Bertolascu before, to be fair. But I was going to say, I need to speak to the guy that identified him, because when I first saw him in the League Cup, looks about 8 stone.
Oh, I know.
The muzzle strip was hanging off him. New Zealand international. Thought,
we've signed a jockey.
I don't know if this is going to work. And he's absolutely outstanding.
He looks like a jockey.
And I know from speaking to various other, when I'm out and about working, speaking to other managers and just small talking, most of them know where my allegiances lie. He has a lot of admirers.
Yeah, you could imagine. Listen, a brilliant season so far, and such an important player. So yeah, you could imagine that a lot of people have taken a shine to him.
Callum Hendry's had a shot saved for Motherwell. Dundee United have responded with a change. Moller comes on for Waters, so just a like for like in attack there.
Livingston goal's massive. I spoke about the reaction from David Martindale's team talk. He's obviously got one, and I just think that'll give them belief. You're right, Hugh, 30 minutes to go in the game. It's a long time, and it starts to put that little bit of doubt in the Dundee players' minds.
Cliche, next goal.
Oh yeah,
next goal.
It is. Yeah,
and if Livingston can get it quickly, all of a sudden you would say fancy winning this. But if Dundee get it, I don't see them coming back again.
Would Jeremy Bokila be second only to Brian Graham in oldest goal scorers this season, do we reckon?
How old is he?
37. Brian's now 38. Can't be many more in the top flight pushing those two, you wouldn't imagine.
I don't think so.
Have you noticed? All for a good cause. Cash for Kids, no teaser today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was a bit disappointed?
I just didn't have time. That's why I just asked you
that
random made up one.
It's about the money.
About the second oldest player in the league to score. The made up stat that nobody knew they needed. Livy 1, Dundee 2. That's the last goal that's come in there. Confirmation of that one from the man that we mentioned, Jeremy Bokila.
Well, the incentive is there for David Martindale. You have to seize the moment now, or have terrible regrets.
Right, we are moving on the Partick Thistle prize. Watch training for 4 people, lunch with the team for 4 people, hospitality the next day at the game for 4 people. Worth quite a bit, that. And especially if Partick Thistle is your team. Ross Cameron's out in front with £800. Brilliant, we're getting there. Nothing yet, which means there's a bargain up for grabs on the Falkirk Legends. It's an evening with Scott Arfield and Russell Latipi. So yes, Falkirk. Rangers fans, I know how you feel about them both. Hibs fans, I know how you feel about Russell Latipi. So there's quite a bit there to get involved with. It doesn't have to be a Falkirk fan. You get a live show there, a 2-course meal, entertainment, VIP, meet and greet, photos, all the rest of it on the 28th of February. So get your bids in there, because there is a bargain to be had. No bids yet. And we're at £1,000 for the hospitality at the Goodwood Festival. It's for 2 people, and it's a really, really good prize, that. So Jim from LeBron Technical is out in front, and we are taking your bids on 0141 565 2468.
Well, the tension mounts at Livy and at Tannadice. I think it's game over at Arbroath, sadly, for Mark and Alec. And down the division, we'll see how things go for Ross County. Bottom, 3 down. No news. 4 down, is it? 4 down, yeah. 4. What a day they're having.
Yeah, it'll be interesting where that one goes, Hugh, I think. Certainly there'll be conversations had, because again, sitting bottom of the table, Queen's Park were winning. I don't know if they still are. Airdrie were winning. So they start to become a little bit adrift at the bottom, which is incredible for the money they're spending. I look through their team and the players that they've got at the White up front, John White up front, Ronan Hale, you've got Ross Docherty's up there.
Ronan Hale's an international footballer.
Incredible. And he's sitting bottom of the league.
Declan
Gallagher,
international football.
Trevor Carson in goals.
Yeah.
You go through their whole team. Yeah.
And then you go to their management team as well.
Yeah.
So they're obviously spending a few quid up there.
Two former international coaches.
Yeah.
Tony Dock and Callum Davidson have both had a bash at it.
Callum Davidson, twice major trophy winner at St Johnstone as manager.
We're not only getting closer to the end of the games today, though, we're getting closer to you going to the rugby tonight.
Yeah.
Glasgow Warriors against Toulouse.
Gordon, don't remind me, I'm so excited.
That'll boost the attendance, I thought.
I can't. I'll be a big crowd. I'll be a big crowd.
Who's your favourite player?
You missed him the other night. So
I like Brownie. Brownie's a good player.
We had one of the Glasgow Warriors players. What was his name?
You know his name. I know his name. We'll keep it quiet.
You must be kidding. This guy came in here, gave you his time, invited you to the game. He's the one that's taking you to the game tonight, and you can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's either a Johnny or a James.
Oh, you're ridiculous. Johnny Matthews.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
And Gordon tried to pull the wool over his eyes, and he had obviously been Googling. He's just typed in Glasgow Warriors players, and he was saying to him, "Oh, what about so and so?" He was naming players that left in the summer.
Big misses. That's what I was saying. They were a big miss to the team tonight.
But you're going straight from here, I take it.
Yeah.
So you're going to hang about here. 8 o'clock kick off. You've got hospitality. Johnny did say he was going to roll out the red carpet for you, take you along, meet some of the guys.
I'm going into the dressing room for a team talk, I think, just to give them, because it's top of league tonight. Massive game.
Toulouse are a good team.
Yeah. Well, I don't know a lot about them, but a few words from myself might just motivate them, because I've been in big games and cup finals and stuff like that. Hugh, okay, didn't win many, but I was still there. I was part of the furniture.
The small matter about 7 that Rangers scored, but we've drawn a veil over that now.
Do you know what? I've done the tactic already, right? I've just wore a thin jacket, and I'm going to go and say, I didn't know it was as cold tonight in a big jacket.
The worst of it is you're not even remotely joking about
I
that.
am not.
That's
I've got a
outstanding.
tactical board out already.
Andy Murray memorabilia is up at $3,000. I think we're getting there. Let's keep pushing. The Signed Scotland shirt, 1,200 as well. Those are our all day prizes. Here is your half an hour warning on the Partick Thistle match day and training experience. This is a brilliant prize. It is for 4 people to go and watch Partick Thistle train, have lunch with the team and management, then the following day go to the game and get hospitality for 4. Mike Hutchison is in the lead now with a bid of £1,000. Thank you very much to Mike. Let's try and squeeze a bit more out of that one. And we're up and running, as I said, £1,000 on the Goodwood Festival hospitality. Still nothing at all on the Falkirk prize. Come on, an evening with Scott Arfield, Russell Latipe, and you get your food, you get the Q&A, you get the photos, all that sort of stuff. And I think because of those 2 guys, I don't think you need to be a Falkirk fan. I think you could find some enjoyment there, no matter what team you support, or particularly if you're a Rangers fan, maybe Hibs and so on. Get involved. Are both down to 10 men though? Craig Watson, he's been sent off. Does that give Mark Wilson's side a little shot in the arm to try and get back into the game?
15 minutes left to play there, so 10v11. There's your incentive.
Yeah. No, again, it's certainly a big incentive for Partick to go and try and take the game to Arbroath. There's nothing to lose now, so throw bodies forward, try and get that goal, put pressure on them.
Yeah, the next goal could be so important. Obviously the wind up there, they're hinting against it. I think sometimes that's better. And they've got players on the pitch that can get them goals. So 11v10, he needs one very quickly to give them a bit of hope.
Still no breakthrough at Tannadice then? Amazing.
Nope, absolutely not. It was nothing doing at all in the first half. At least the second half's had a bit more of a threat about it, although I don't think
who's
either
on
team's
top,
come
Gordon?
particularly
50-50?
close. I think United started the second half the better, and then Motherwell have kind of come back into it. But this is what Motherwell can do. If you listen to these 3 changes that have come on: Ibrahim Said, Manny Longello, and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos on
Yeah,
when you try to go on and try and win a game.
That's a strong squad. There's no doubt about it.
Katrumbis, Maswanise and Hendry off, I think. So it's not a bad trio to bring on. They could easily win, and they've not brought on Regan Charles-Cook yet.
No.
Middle to front, Motherwell do have serious options.
Yeah, and they're doing what about their options as well, as we've spoke about this before in Motherwell. They've played a lot of football this season, so they're going onto the pitch with knowing what they need to do. I think that's a really positive change going forward. Last 20 minutes they gave new energy at the top end of the pitch, caused Dundee United new problems, so it'll be interesting.
Let's see if we can get a winner or even a breakthrough in that one before we worry about whether it's a winner or not. Hamilton Accies, it's just a really tough time for them in many ways. Billy Mackay, is he about 61 years of age now, still scoring goals. Inverness 4, Hamilton Accies 0.
He was in my class at school, Billy.
Inverness are dominating that league though, to be fair to them, so they're flying high at the top, and I think they've only lost 2 games, so brilliant form that they've been in, because they were deducted points at the start of the season as well, I think. Yeah.
Who's your manager in Inverness now?
Good question.
Scott Kelleher, isn't it?
Yeah, he was the youth team manager when they were going through the administration problems, and stepped in. He's done a brilliant job up there. Fantastic.
You played there, Cammy?
No, too far up for me.
No, have you ever never played there?
Oh, played against them. Aye.
Of course he has. He's played for about 40 clubs.
Come on.
Well,
I think I've played in almost every stadium.
Oh, I bet there's one or two.
There's probably one or two, but almost was the quote.
Almost. I've never played at Annan.
Well, they would have.
They weren't there when I
say it's
Aye, yeah.
Different era.
Yeah, I just feel old now.
Can't wait to see you in the.
What?
Can't wait to see you at the rugby tonight. I want to see so many photos. I want to see so much evidence of this. Hold on.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Stick another tenner in the Partick Thistle prize. They're back in it. It's a 6-yard volley from Alex Samuel, a lovely cross from Logan Chalmers, and with 15 minutes to go and they're both down to 10, the Jags are back in it.
Wind assisted, so good for them. There's hope, definitely hope of an equaliser.
Oh, you take a point now. In fact, if you get a quick one in the next couple of minutes, he would fancy getting on and getting 3 points.
Yeah, again, there's no reason. Certainly we're looking to take something out of the game now, because it's 2-1, 10 men, sort of 15 minutes to go.
There's a handful.
Wraith Rovers 5, Ross County 0. Ross County bottom of the championship. They're going to lose at least 5-0 by the looks of things. I always think it's extreme when managers get changed multiple times in a season, but Tony Dock must be getting
can't survive.
Wondering how you get out of this.
You can't survive that.
It comes down to the owner's obligation towards the club, because Inverness Caley Thistle, or rather Ross County, the neighbours, Ross County cannot go into the third tier of Scottish football with the players they have, the wage bill they have, and the owner therefore has to weigh up his options. Does he believe that the managerial duo of Tony Docherty and Callum Davidson can get them out of this, or does he accept that this is a watershed moment and change now and look for better in the second half of the season?
Stamatolopoulos puts one wide. He's on a tight angle though, so no breakthrough there. There has been an accusation that maybe Motherwell's striker is just not quite as clinical as the people would like, given how creative the team can be. That said, he's got a few goals, mostly from the penalty spot.
Yeah, another one today would be really important for Motherwell, but I think we're all agreeing that first goal wins the game, but are we going to get one?
I think if it was 0-0, 5 clean sheets in a row, a point to take back down the road with you, I think...
Oh, I totally agree, Hugh.
You'd be alright with
I
that.
would accept that.
Yeah,
I would definitely.
Can we start publicly shaming producer John or any other Falkirk fans out there, because it's the only prize all day we've not got any bids for yet? It's an evening with Scott Arfield and Russell Latipi. It's got your 2-course meal, your entertainment, your Q&A, VIP, meet and greet photos, all the rest of it. And like I said, it really is. If you're a Rangers fan, I'm sure you'd like to speak to Scott Arfield and Russell Latipi. Hibs fans might want a bit of Russell Latipi. Falkirk fans clearly should. So please put your bids in. It's going to be a bargain at this stage by the looks of it. 0141 565 2468.
I'll tell you what, the pair of them must have some stories to tell.
Yeah.
The things that they've achieved in the game. Scott with his Canadian international status. Russell Latape played the game with a smile on his face and was a terrific player. They will have some tales to tell.
And then you get a wee sing song at the end down the guitar with
Scott.
With Scott, yeah.
Aye,
I could do a quick My Way.
Oh, you were, yeah. I'll never forget that. Neither will the people that were there.
No, true.
I told you that, didn't I? That I recorded a piece with him for Sky where we followed him around all day, basically.
Yeah.
He drove us to training, filmed the journey, training, all that sort of stuff, and back down the road. And he's now writing songs for like Callum Beattie and Nathan Evans, and like well known, and trying to give them to them and trying to get them to sing the songs that he's written. That's what he wants to do after football, he was telling us.
And has he got any?
He actually he let us hear one in the car that was written for a sort of, by the way, right up your street. What two things are you into? Scott Arfield and getting married.
Yeah.
Right? He's written a song that's meant for like first dance type thing at a wedding.
Oh, no.
And he played us a little recording of Callum Beattie singing it, the song that he wrote. That could be debuted at your next wedding.
That could be my next one. I've got it all planned. Gordon's marrying me. Now I've got my first dance.
As in,
no, he's not marrying me. As in,
I'm not the bride. I'm conducting
he's doing the work.
ceremony. My goodness. Geez.
Yeah.
Shug's the page boy.
Shug's giving us $1,000 in the envelope for the wedding. I know that already now that he's got it.
No anymore, he doesn't. He just handed it over.
Nah, he's got plenty more pockets.
Queen's Park, One, Dunfermline 1. Is that going to be well, it is a late equaliser. What I mean to say is it going to stay that way? Is it going to be a point apiece? Charlie Gilmore scored with about 10 to go.
Well, Queen's Park had a chance to go 4 points away from Ross County at the bottom of the championship table, but they'll still do better than Ross County today, I think.
3,100 now for the Andy Murray memorabilia. It is going in the right direction. Let's keep on the button with that one, though. It is an absolute cracker. And remember, these are our all-day prizes. So that and the Scotland shirt, you've got a bit longer. And the text to win the car, text car to 84901, £5 donation, brand new car. Imagine how smug you would feel if you gave a £5 to charity and got a brand new car out of it.
Yeah.
That's the best deal of the century.
Amazing.
It's the best deal of the century, honestly. And I'm not kidding you on, it's a terrific car.
You really liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I'm going to go for
which Arnold Clark did you go to get a look at it?
Is it Linwood? Is that right? Yeah. And I got a test drive in it, and I was very surprised how nice it was. Lovely. Got to see inside.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Oh my goodness! This is almost impossible. Wraith Rovers 6, Ross County 0. Ross County, managed by Tony Docherty, with Callum Davidson and John Robertson in the backroom staff, with Declan Gallagher, who got Scotland to Euro 2020, Ronan Hale, who's an international footballer, and so on and so forth. They are 6-0 down against Wraith Rovers and bottom of the league. How do you come back from that?
You don't.
No. Score 7
in 7 minutes. Listen, I don't see any other conclusion than something certainly happening over the weekend and conversations had, because that is such a damaging defeat for a big club, a club that's been
here's the thing, that's now so bad. That's bad for any team, any club. That's a bad defeat. It's unthinkable.
And a lot of pundits would have tipped Ross County to go straight back up this season.
I know one or two.
Were you one of them?
Yes.
I can't, with no offence, right, genuinely no offence meant to Wraith Rovers, and of course Dougie Emery's gone in there. I'm not sure how low down the pyramid you'd need to go for me to be confident of picking an opponent that they would put 6 past.
No.
Do you know what I mean by
totally
that?
Agree. Yeah. And that's why it's
like, if Wraith drew someone from the West of Scotland League in the Cup, I still wouldn't be confident that they'd score 6.
Them 3-4 maybe. But again, 6 is a really, really big scoreline. We don't see that very often in the Championship as well, because we know a lot of teams are so close to each other, very competitive.
Honestly, the team today,
wow.
Trevor Carson in goal, international goalkeeper. Yep. Conor Randall, skipper in the Premiership, played with Hearts as well. Jay Henderson was nominated for Championship Player of the Year at Ayr last season. Ronan Hale, international footballer. Scott Fraser, been down the road, came up Dundee last season, Dundee United before. It's not rumours that Hearts wanted him, or did Hearts have him for a bit?
Hearts had him,
Hearts had him for a bit. Alex Jakoviti, loads of top flight experience. Ross Docherty, Dundee United captain last season. Jordan White, scorer of many goals against Celtic and Rangers. Ryan Duncan, loan from Aberdeen. Jamie Lindsay. So sorry for throwing Declan Gallagher in there, because he's not even in the team. He's on the bench with Gary Mackay-Stephen, James Scott, Ross Laidlaw.
Wow.
Where's Nicky Clark?
I think he's injured.
I
think it would have been 7-6 if he'd been playing.
Yeah. End to end.
That's just incredible, that team there, though. And again, you've got to look at the finances they're spending. We've mentioned the management staff that are there. There'll be a lot of money spent on that as well. So that result there is unacceptable for the football club.
Oh, it's incredible. I didn't think the on-field story of the day would be Ross County, but it might be. It actually might be. Having said that, if Dundee can hang on and get...
Well, we're talking about the almost at the halfway stage of the season. Now the choice is Roy McGregor's. This team, the team that you've read out, for them to lose 6-0 is beyond belief. But it is the story of the season so far. They're bottom for a reason, and it's your obligation as the owner to establish the reason and decide what you're going to do about it.
Oh, this is a big one.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Livy 2, Dundee 2.
Wow.
There's a big finish on because Tete Yengi, who's just come on, there's a deep cross to the back post. He looks like he's about 7'5", and there he is at the back post to score. They have been banging on the door, and there is still time. 5 minutes of the 90 to go. Livy 2, Dundee 2.
Big Marv will be in with that tracksuit
top. He's running into the dressing room.
You worry about that.
That's a big goal.
A massive goal.
2-0 down.
Yeah, and they could come and win it. They've lost a few late goals.
You had David Martindale sacked at half time.
No, I did not.
Absolutely.
No, I did not.
I'll be telling him.
I threw the question out there: would it be possible for David to lose his job if this continued? And the boys all went yes. I went no. But yeah, as you say, that is a massive goal for him, and still a bit of time to go.
But there's no getting away from it. At half time, things look completely different, and he would have been under pressure. And we spoke about the words he would be having with his players at half time, whether he's made changes and tweaked things, but he's certainly got a reaction from his players, and now you've got to fancy them actually going and winning the game.
Right, we've got 3 minutes to go. Partick Thistle are going to look to do the same and equalise late on. You've got 15 minutes on the following prizes. We've got some movement on the Falkirk prize finally. So it's an evening with Scott Arfield, Russell Latipe, dinner, Q&A, entertainment, photos, etc. Gemmell's van sales, I've got that up at £400, so thank you very much. The Partick Thistle experience is a cracker because it's 4 people to watch training, have lunch with the team, and then hospitality for 4 the next day. Mike Hutchison still leads with £1,000. I think we could squeeze a bit more out of that one. And what about this? This bid's been sitting for a while. Gym at LeBron Technical, £1,000. This is quite an exclusive event, this. I think if you're even remotely interested in cars, this is an amazing prize. It's unforgettable. VIP experience. It's 2 guests at the Casa Ferrari Hospitality. It's quite even that name sounds good, Hugh.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even need to know what that is. Casa Ferrari Hospitality at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, and it is in July. You'd like to think you get a nice bit of weather, exclusive up close access, some of the world's greatest cars, all sorts of displays and events going on there. You get food and drinks and all that sort of stuff as well. And like I said, it's guests in the Ferrari lounge, and it's thanks to Grey Paul Ferrari Glasgow. I don't know if people think this is like some other sort of Ferrari. I mean Ferrari as in the well-known supercar. I'm getting really patronising here, but we also had someone was bidding earlier and their surname was Ferrari, so I just didn't know if people were getting mixed up here. But this is a really, really top prize, this, and it's sitting at £1,000. I think we can do more. You've only got 15 minutes left, and those will close at 5 o'clock. It's 0141565 2468. I would urge you to take a look at the silent auction though, because there's some really, really good prizes there that quite frankly are going cheap at the moment. So if you go to our Twitter feed, you will see the link there, and you can check out some of those items. We've got loads of hospitality prizes. Golf fans, you might be interested, there's quite a few golf prizes in there as well. Signed shirts, signed balls, all that sort of thing. So get involved. I think the full-time whistles will be about to go. Another goalless draw for the Steelmen, Gordon, maybe. I know what you're saying, good point in the road, but I think they've started to build up a bit of expectation about them.
Yeah, but
teams are going to United and winning at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you're not going to go and just expect to win every game. And Dundee United are fighting for their lives as well. They're at home. Clean sheet is a massive positive. Look, I think Motherwell will be a bit disappointed the way they're playing and the results they're getting and sitting third in the league. But I would have taken that now. I really would. And then you can go and build on another clean sheet as well.
Still time though to get a dramatic winner, and it could be Dundee United. What a turnaround that would be. A real shot in the arm it would give them, and then they could start looking upwards, and Motherwell might start to wonder if it's all it was promising a couple of weeks ago. That's what lies in wait if someone can get a winner.
So Cammy, if it was to be a draw, 1 win in 11 for Dundee United, how would that read?
It certainly won't read well with the United fans, and I think there'll be a lot of frustration round about Tannadice at this moment in time. It's a game probably that Jim Goodwin, yes, he'll want to win. It's a home game, of course he will, but I think he'll be probably at ease with getting a point. It's Motherwell have been in such good form this season, are a difficult team to play. But listen, they need to start winning games soon, because it's not been good enough this season. No. It's certainly not been anywhere near the standards the United fans expect.
Well, it's United have come closest towards the end. Callum Ward got a new contract the other day. He's had to make a save. Will Ferry it was with the cross.
Well, listen, with the problems that Dundee United have had with goalkeeping situation, I think his biggest positive today would be a clean sheet.
Yeah, there's a full-time whistle and what will be result of the weekend. I know it's not going to be the big headline grabber, but in terms of the scale and all that sort of stuff, Wraith Rovers 6, Ross County 0. Unbelievable. Full-time whistle gone. Inverness 4, Hamilton Accies 0 in stoppage time. Can Partick Thistle find a last gasp equaliser? It doesn't look like it, and we're nearly done at Tannadice as well. We were a bit behind in that game. Remember, there's a late Motherwell free kick. If they could convert this, it's 25 yards out. Elliot Watt, he's hit some earlier in the season. Would someone else have a crack at it? It would be interesting to see if this one could find the back of the net. Elijah Just, maybe.
If he scores, we'll need to suspend bidding and Cash for Kids while you do a lap of honour around the studio and
correct.
Then come back to the microphone.
Absolutely. There's actually 5 added there, so there might be a bit of time at Tannadice. Well, 10 minutes to go. This is your 10-minute warning on the Partick Thistle, the Goodwood Festival and the Falkirk prizes as well there. We're now up at 1100. Jason from Caledonia Vehicle Solutions on the Goodwood Festival. I knew that would get a bit more attention. See, when you start to really think about what that includes and the type of experience you'll probably get in the Ferrari Lounge, I think you might want to
just the Ferrari Lounge. Yeah, that would do for me. I know what's right in my mind walking into that lounge. Ferraris everywhere.
Thanks for clearing that up. Motherwell still not taking this free kick. Elliot Watt and Manny Longello over it. He scored a great number of goals from left back. I don't necessarily have him down as a free kick taker, but happy to be surprised if it does hit the back of the net.
Good result for Clyde away from home. Edinburgh City won, Clyde 4.
Certainly is. Edinburgh City have been going well.
Yeah, it's a really good result. Very, very impressive that as well, because Edinburgh City have been defying their points deduction, but they're now starting to not maybe make the recovery that people thought they would. That free kick comes to nothing, obviously, after all that big build up. Really glad we did that and gave you every update about who was over it and who might take it and who scratched their nose in the build up.
Clyde are only 2 points off East Kilbride at the top of the League 2 table. It's moving nicely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's starting to tighten up at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity for East Kilbride today. They've been doing pretty well in the league recently, but a really bad result in the Challenge Cup in the week, losing 4-1 to Stranraer. That seems to have knocked the stuffing out of them a little bit. Have we got a full time yet? Still not in Arbroath. I fear Thistle fans, you are running out of time.
You maybe just thought they would have got maybe a sneaked a draw there with Arbroath going down to 10 men.
Well, still, never say never, but
£2,000 now on the Goodwood Festival. Let's see if we can keep going. You've got 8 minutes left on the Partick Thistle training and matchday hospitality package, the Goodwood Festival and the Falkirk evening. Let's go full time, Arbroath, Fraser.
Yeah, finished here. Arbroath 2, Partick Thistle 1. You can hear the cheers from there. Both supporters are absolutely delighted after a great second half display. Earned their team a deserved 3 points. Thistle just couldn't take advantage of the win in the first half. Arbroath did, and that was the difference in the end of the game. Thistle playing with the wind, had the best chances of that first 45 minutes. In a 5 minute spell, midway through the half, they had 3 good efforts. Macbeth 30 yards, slight deflection, inches wide. Then Dan O'Reilly sure scored. Good chest control, but he pulled his shot across goal and again a yard wide. Then Aidan McAdams, who had a really good game in the Arbroath goal. Great save low to his left to block out a Samuel 16-yard shot, but the wind was too strong to be an advantage. Arbroath rarely seen in the Thistle half and couldn't get near the box, but there's a sign of Arbroath's intention straight from kick-off. The ball was touched to Taylor Stephen, who shot from the halfway line, and it was just over with Josh Clark scrambling. It's clear that at that point they know how to play in these conditions, and the opener came on 50 minutes. Wind assisted, Josh Clark with a goal kick. It blew back towards his goal. The 3 defenders just couldn't clear it as the ball bounced towards the penalty box, and Finlay Marshall was first to the loose ball, and he fired home from 18 yards. Taylor Stephen is inches wide with a left foot shot. He was shooting from everywhere at this point. Arbroath tails up, Thistle under the caution. No surprise, it was 2-0 in 63 minutes. Jack Wilkie, the left back, made good ground into the back post. He headed the ball down into the 6-yard box, and striker Gavin Riley, first to react, he just turned the ball in from about 4 yards. A real blow for Arbroath with 17 minutes to go. They were on top. Right back Craig Watson was late with the challenge on Ben Stanley. It didn't look like a red card to me. I thought he was along the ground, but the referee gave him a red card. I thought it was just a yellow, but that gave Thistle real hope. And 3 minutes later, you thought they're back in the game. Logan Chalmers substitute, lovely cross to the left hand side, great run and volley from about 8 yards by Alex Samuel. All hands to the pump now for Arbroath. O'Reilly denied by a great block by McIntyre. McAdams with a really good save to deny Smith, and Macbeth inches wide with a left foot shot, but Arbroath managed to see the game out pretty comfortably in the last 5 minutes. So the great season for the part-timers continues. They're now third, 6 points behind Partick Thistle at the halfway stage of the season. It's been brilliant so far, but Jags, they've lost ground on St Johnstone at the top over this weekend. Full time at Gayfield Park. Arbroath 2, Partick Thistle 1.
Yeah, great result for Arbroath, and well done to them. We've got our own biases for keeping an eye on Partick Thistle, but tucked in behind Partick Thistle as one of the stories of the Championship this season is indeed Arbroath. So well done to them for getting over the line today. 5 minutes left now on these prizes. The Ferrari Hospitality Jim from LeBron Technical's gone back in front on 2,200. Still at 400 from Gemmell's van sales for the Falkirk Legends evening. Let's make a last ditch attempt, Partick Thistle fans. 4 of you, exclusive access to training. You get lunch with the team and the management. Then the next day, 4 people, hospitality at the game, 1 PM till 6 PM. That's a lot of hospitality. It's sitting at £1,000 for Mike Hutchison in the next 5 minutes. I think we can do better. Full time Tannadice. Let's speak to David Friel.
Full time Gordon, Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0. Third goal is strong, 4 games for Motherwell, a point apiece, probably a fair result overall. Both managers will feel they had chances to win the game, they just couldn't find that goal. Is it a bad result for Motherwell? Probably not. They remain third. They're now unbeaten in 9, which is their best run in a single season for 15 years. For United, probably a step in the right direction, but they're still winless in 7 games. Only 1 win in their last 11, with Celtic and Hibs to come this week. First half was a non-event, really. Very little goalmouth action, barring a few tame attempts on both sides. Motherwell lost Stephen Welsh to a head injury in the first half, but they weren't really bothered defensively until the start of the second half. United come out flying after the break. Amar Fatah, a massive threat down the left wing, needed a shot blocked, but then curled one wide from 18 yards. United really good, pressing hard, but Motherwell then settled again. They started to create chances. Elijah Jussie was impressive again. Callum Slattery, the 2 of them came close. Callum Hendry had a shot saved by Dave Richards, but United also threatened. Craig Sibbald, they tried a Kenny McLean from the halfway line. Everybody thought it was going in. It was just off target as Callum Ward scrambled back. Both bosses, to be fair, made attacking changes. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, he fired right from a narrow angle minutes after coming on. Callum Slattery then sent a drive over the bar, but up the other end, Will Ferry threatened for United before the end. The winner didn't arrive. Probably fair overall, as I said. Full time, Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0.
Not what it was all promising to be, that game, but there we go. It's full time for Roger Hannah. I think you'd late drama as well, did you?
We certainly did, Gordon. Livingston 2, Dundee 2. A fantastic second half fight back by the Lions. Keeps them just 4 points behind Dundee and only 3 behind second bottom Kilmarnock at the bottom of the Premiership. It really didn't look like they were 2 down inside 18 minutes. The first Jan Danda scoring after homekeeper Jerome Prior could only push out a long range drive from Ethan Hamilton into his path. 5 minutes later it was 2, Tony Ogan easily knocking in a cross from the left, and there was Cam Congreve at the back post for a second goal. Dundee well on top in the first half, but Livy turned out round at the break. David Martindale sent on Conor McLennan at half time for Joshua Brennan. There was a few changes. Finlayson went to right back, Montano went to left back. There was far more about the Lions in the second half. They got a foothold in 64 minutes. 37-year-old Jeremy Bakila busting clear. He showed strength, he showed determination to hold off Billy Cometio, and he lashed a fierce finish past Dundee goalkeeper John McCracken for 2-1. After that, it was just simply a case of whether or not Dundee could hold on for the 3 points. Livy threw everything at it. Teti Yengi on for Scott Pittman after 82 minutes, and 3 minutes later the big Aussie found an unlikely equaliser. Macaulay Tate's deep cross to the back post, it eluded everyone, but there was Yengi for a finish, an emphatic finish past McCracken for 2-2. They tried to throw everything at it. Robbie Muirhead came on as they looked for a really unlikely winner, but they ended up in the back foot. Skipper Ryan McGowan, making his first start in 3 months, saw a 96th minute red card for a foul on Dundee sub Emil Aqua. The game had everything, Gordon, apart from a winner. Livingston 2, Dundee 2.
And there we go, that's the full-time picture done across our featured matches, and now it really is over to you on the usual phone lines. I don't mean to complicate things. If you want to talk football, give us a call right now on 0141 951 1025. For the auction, 0141 565 2468. You've got about 30 seconds left on the Thistle prize, the Falkirk prize and the Casa Ferrari. We'll do more prizes and the all-day items when we return.
During the school holidays, we know of young people that aren't getting 3 warm meals a day.
Spend my whole life chasing good times.
Particularly the families who've got the younger children. The magic of Christmas is just putting so much strain on families who are already struggling to get food, fuel for their, homes.
When the road is calling home and my heart is full of hope.
Our goal: to help make Christmas better for those who would otherwise miss out.
And we know some that are scraping around in cupboards for things like dry cereal.
They can't believe they're getting this. The kids tell us, we were able to get this or we were able to get that.
It's a heartbreaking cycle, and that's where Cash for Kids really makes a difference for these kids.
0141 565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Well, the full-time whistles have gone in our featured matches. A quieter fixture card today, but still loads happening. A brilliant game between Livy and Dundee. Dundee were 2 up, it finished 2-2. A bit of a damp squib between Dundee United and Motherwell goalless. Partick Thistle losing in Arbroath. 0141 951 1025. It is a traditional Saturday evening in that regard, where we ask your thoughts on today's football, tonight's football, tomorrow's. Mondays we're split right across the weekend, aren't we? But particularly tomorrow, League Cup final. Let's give it a big preview, and what does it all mean for Wilfried Nancy? Get your calls in right now, please. We do have a dual purpose today, though, and it is our Cash for Kids sports auction. So let me bring to a close the 4 to 5 p.m. items and thank the following people. Mike Hutchison, you and 3 pals are off to watch Partick Thistle train, then have lunch with the team, then enjoy hospitality at the game the next day. It is £1,000 to Mike, and thank you very much for that donation to Cash for Kids. On the Falkirk Legends evening with Scott Arfield and Russell Latby, donated by 5 stars. Thank you to Gemmell's Van Sales for the £400 donation there. And the Casa Ferrari hospitality at the Goodwood Festival of Speed for 2, Craig Kerr has nailed that for £2,500. So thank you very much to Craig. We're ticking along nicely, Hugh.
Yeah, as we hoped we would do on this very special day. As I say, we gather here and we do try our best to have fun around about it, but it's fun with a serious purpose, because the deprivation is terrible and children are going without in a serious way, and too many of them. So that's what we're all about. That and the football special day.
Now, this is where it gets serious for the all-day items. We've got even more to give you on top of this, but for the all-day items, the best one by a mile for me is because this one's accessible to everyone. Text CAR to 84901. £5 donation to Cash for Kids, and you're in the hat to win a brand new car. It's a brand new JQ5. It's worth well over £20,000, donated by Arnold Clark, and it could be yours for a £5 charitable donation. The lines close at 6, so be fast. Text CAR to 84901. The Andy Murray signed memorabilia, I've been banging on about this all afternoon. You can see a picture of it on our Twitter feed if you happen to follow me on Instagram, if that's your thing. I put a video up of it earlier on as well. It is about a 40 to 50 inch frame. It's got Andy Murray's racket from Wimbledon when he won it in 2013. It's got the signature, photos, tennis balls. It is stunning. And Paul McLaughlin is in the lead with a bid of £3,100 on that one. And finally, a Scotland squad has reached the World Cup. I don't know if you've heard, but America awaits next summer, and we have a signed shirt from the current squad. It's an anonymous bidder at the moment who's in the lead with a bid of £1,300. But I want to really, really push those in the last hour. It's all for the kids as well, remember. 0141565 2468. Cammy Bell, you've not taken your eyes off that Andy Murray frame. It's right in your eye line.
Yes, it's a brilliant prize, and we've spoke about it before. It's a prize that doesn't come up very often as well. Andy Murray, you speak about him, Scottish legends. He is an absolute Scottish sporting legend, and it's just so well presented, and the way that it's put together, absolutely fantastic. So yeah,
right.
Brilliant.
So those are your all-day prizes. They finish at 6, as do these. Got a couple of late prizes been added to the mix, which is absolutely brilliant. So really looking forward to giving these away, but we're going to have to be super quick on these, right? These close at the end of the show as well. The first one is Beat the Pundits at golf. Ever wanted to play golf with Gordon Dalziel? Hear the stories that he can't tell on the radio? Find out what he's really like? Play golf with the only man in the world who literally talks during his own backswing? It is quite a sight to behold. You could join Gordon Dalziel. Cammy Bell, you go along with him?
Yes, I'm going along with him.
There we go.
Player?
I'm an average player, so whoever joins us will be fine.
I'll entertain.
The two of you can go along. If you want to phone up and swap out Cammy Bell for somebody else, you can do that as well. He won't be offended.
No.
It's a 4-ball though on stunning Marhall Golf Resort just up the road. Lovely part of the world. So the voucher entitles the recipient and their guest to join Gordon Dalziel and Cammy. Listen, if Cammy can't make it, or if there's an availability, whatever, we'll sort you out with some pundits, but I'm sure we'll make it work for a round of golf at Marhall. It's donated by Greg at Northern Piling Limited, and really looking forward to seeing what comes in on that, because he's quite an interesting character to hang about with in the golf course. I think you will like it. You'll hear some stories that
and listen, I'm quite happy for them to bring people to caddy for me, and you know,
make a day of it.
Make a day of it, more the merrier.
Beautiful place to play as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Lovely.
quite late Marhall. Yeah.
Can wait until the good weather comes in, obviously, as well. So come on, let's get some bids for it, because that's a bit of fun, that, isn't it? If you've got a bit of cash, you want to give it to Cash for Kids, you fancy going getting a game of golf with Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell, you and a pal, take them on. He loves getting beat as well, so you could always add that to the mix. Get your bids in right now. Now, a couple of late ones come in. Really, really pleased with these. Someone has physically come down to the studio to help us out, which I think is so nice. When you think of the way people want to get on. Galazzo Sports has come down with a signed Bologna Lewis Ferguson top. Really nice. That I've got
brilliant.
it here. It's an absolute cracker. Lewis will almost certainly go to the World Cup with Scotland. He's a Scot who went out there and was named the best midfielder in Serie A at one point. So that's a cracker, that signed Lewis Ferguson top. And not to be outdone, how's about signed and worn boots by Andy Robertson? Multiple now English Premier League winner, Champions League winner, more Champions League appearances than any other Scotsman as of this week. The captain that took Scotland back to a World Cup finals for the men's side, and is on course to be Scotland's most capped player of all time for the men's team. Boots that he wore, they are signed by him. Hang on to them. See, as soon as he becomes Scotland's most capped ever player. No, tell a lie. See, when he lifts the World Cup, next summer, whack them on eBay, you're made for life. But honestly, that's a brilliant prize as well, and that was brought down by Drew. You'll remember Drew. He played Beat the Pundit in the Bath a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And he messaged me, genuinely messaged me to say, I'm going to bring these boots down for Cash for Kids. I'm in the Bath just now, seriously. I do have other today as well. He's in the Bath again.
Does he sleep in the bath?
He says, I swear I have other hobbies. It just happens to be in the bath again.
He likes listening to us in the bath.
So do I. Wednesday's my bath night.
But anyway, play against Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell at golf at Marhall. A signed Bologna top by Lewis Ferguson and signed match-worn boots by Andy Robertson. That's a stunning prize. Get your bids in. You don't have too much longer on them. 01415652468. Let's do the traditional phone lines for now. Kevin's in Bishop Briggs. Hi, Kevin. Oh, in fact, hold on, I need some magic buttons pressed in here before I can get Kevin. See, it all happens in Cash for Kids Day, Hugh. We're all over the place.
Well, understandable.
Kevin will come on in just a wee second because we're looking forward to tomorrow. We're live from Hampden, aren't we?
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we can't take him out in the winter.
No,
he stays in the
no.
studio.
No, too cold.
I'm in here with the man who lost 2-0 today at Dumbarton, so he'll be in an iffy mood. Scott Allen tomorrow.
With the guy that drew 2 each today against Dundee.
Yeah.
Kevin is on the line. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, good evening, gents. How are you doing?
Good, Kevin. What's on your mind?
Well, just let me know about the wee noise about the new Celtic manager. One of the things I think a lot of people aren't talking about is a lot of the players. Now, and with this I'm talking about Carl McGregor, the captain. Now, I went through the era with captains, Hugh Dazzler, Billy McNeil, Scott Brown, the Hart, proper Celtic captains, and there was more than one captain on the park. Now, I think it's too easy for the fans. I was doing at Roma the other night, just to turn round on the board after the second goal went in and blame the board. What about the players? I think there's too many. These players they get paid good wealth, but they should stand up to be counted. Another wee point was regards to the youth. When are we going to get back to getting the boys for Scotland playing for these teams? My wee boy was at Rob Roy this morning, beat Blantyre Celtic 6-0 Stefan. But there's good boys out there, Hugh. But where are they going? Are we coaching the fit but out the boys?
Well, first of all, let me take your points one by one. Callum McGregor is an exemplary Celtic captain. He may not have the golden aura of Big Billy McNeil, of Scott Brown, and those who have been great Celtic captains, Roy Aitken, etc, etc, etc. However, McGregor has been an inspirational captain who took over from Scott Brown, and it was a seamless transition because he kept Celtic winning trophies. So McGregor, I don't think, deserves criticism. And remember, the last time Celtic played St Mirren, but for Callum McGregor, Celtic would be a couple of league points worse off with that great goal in Paisley.
And this is where, because people are very quick to say, you can't make excuses, which is fine, but if your specific point is leadership, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Alistair Johnson are in Celtic's leadership group officially with Callum McGregor, and they're out injured at the moment. So it's no surprise that the leadership skills within the team are diminished. That's not to say it's an excuse, that's not to say they shouldn't be able to find a way, but if your sole criticism at the moment is leadership lacking, well, that will happen when Johnson and Carter-Vickers aren't there.
But the point I would like to make is that yes, he, like the other Celtic players, is struggling at the moment, Callum McGregor, but he is an exemplary Celtic captain. With regard to youth players, Colby Donovan is there, Tierney is there as someone who came through the Celtic Academy, got them £25 million in transfer money and came back again. Of course you'd like to see more, but I think that's a story that's repeated at all Scottish clubs. We don't produce the volume of talent that we once did, and sadly when you do, they go off as early as they possibly can down south. I mean, Celtic lost several players. Daniel Kelly came in, scored a goal against Dundee one night, looked the part, and he's out the door 2 minutes later because they want to go and play in England. So Colby Donovan, for the moment, yes, you want more, but it's a hard shift now to get boys to even stay with you.
In some ways that's a discussion you dedicate a full show to, Gordon, really, isn't it, about where goes wrong. Colby Donovan's playing a bit again because Alistair Johnson's been injured. Even Dane Murray came in because there was an availability. It didn't go particularly well at Tynecastle. Like I say, there's a much wider ranging discussion. How do you feel about Celtic's lack of leaders, according to Kevin?
Look, I too agree, and I said it early part of the show that all focus was on the board and the manager, and was the decision right, the tactics board and everything. I think that the players got off scot-free. I really do. I think they've got to take a bit of responsibility. I watched Hatate, who is a magnificent football player, and I watched him continuously giving the ball away from about 5-10 yards. That's nothing to do with the manager, the board or whatever. Tactics, that's individual. That's personally people not taking responsibility on the pitch. Look, leadership it's okay turning round, and we've heard this with Rangers as well. Tavernier's not a captain. I've heard all that nonsense before. When you go on the pitch, you've got to do your job. You've got to be responsible for what your job is on the pitch. Okay, you'll have one or two in the olden days like the Richard Govs, the Roy Aikens, the Billy McNeils. Football was completely different then. Absolutely completely different. But I just think that tomorrow, Celtic, for the manager's sake, will certainly need a lot of leadership.
Yeah, again, listen, Callum McGregor leads in a different way. I think he's a fantastic captain. Hugh mentioned that goal at St Mirren when they needed it in the last minute. He steps up, he takes accountability and gets that goal, gets them over the line. I think he's done that for a long period of time. I think you're right, Gordon, what you said. They are missing natural leaders within their team because of injuries. Carter Vickers and you look at Alistair Johnston, they are leaders that they're missing at the moment. You've got Kasper Schmeichel's got a huge amount of experience at the back there as well, so you'd expect him to be one of the leaders. But then you look throughout the rest of their team at this moment in time, there's not a lot of guys with, I would say, a huge amount of leadership skills, so they maybe are lacking it. But I agree with Daz that the players need to take responsibility, and they'll need to do that tomorrow because they're on the pitch. They're the guys that can go and win the game, get a trophy in the cabinet for Celtic, and it's up to them to go and produce a good performance and get the win.
Do you think you win the cup tomorrow, Kevin?
I think on the day they'll win it, but I would like to see the young boys win it, because one of the comments for both Rangers and Celtic fans is, and that's, I've never heard a Celtic team get booed at half time at Europe, right, is the lack of identity to the players. That was another point I was making to you. Because there's no young Scottish talent in the team, the fans maybe forgive that on a bad night. But when you see guys, and I'll make no mistake, the boy from Belgium, Arne Engels, listen, if I was his captain, Hugh, this is what I'm talking about McGregor, he would have got a doing at half time.
Can't just throw random Scottish players in. That's why I said there's a wider discussion here about, is it because they're not good enough? Is it because they've not got chances? Which young player is Celtic going to pitch into a cup final tomorrow?
None at all. Colby Donovan will be there and might even start. However, Kevin gives the impression that there's a glut of youngsters there waiting to be brought into the team. That's simply not the case. They're put on the bench for European matches to take care of quotas. So, tomorrow McGregor will lead by example. Celtic will need to get performances out of players who are mediocre. There are far too many mediocre players. Tunekti, Balakwisha, Yang. It's mediocrity, and Celtic need them to at least rise to the occasion tomorrow. Perhaps Paulo Bernardo gets a chance now from the start. But it's a threadbare Celtic squad created by poor recruitment and a serious injury problem. They have their work cut out tomorrow, and no mistake.
Listen, I know what Kevin's saying, and you can look at every club in our Premiership, and there's not many young players that you're saying they're using their account. Now, get back to my day, completely different. You played in the reserves. We had hardly any foreigners in the team. It was all basically Scottish base or come from England. So what happened was, if Derek Johnson, for instance, centre forward, injured, I went in because I played in the reserves. Completely different now. One, the squads are far, far bigger. Right? So you've got more competition. Secondly, there's more foreign players getting brought in. So all of a sudden, and the money that they're getting brought in for, you've got to be seen to be playing them. So it's a different structure now.
Thank you very much to Kevin from Bishopbriggs. Right, let's go to work though. We've got some important business to attend to between now and 6 o'clock. We've not had any bids in yet for the following three items. The signed Andy Robertson boots. If you're talking about Scottish footballing memorabilia right now, might be hard to top that. As I said, he's the guy that just captained Scotland to a first World Cup since 1998. He's won a couple of English Premier Leagues. He's won the Champions League. He's on course to become Scotland's most capped player of all time. And it's his boots, his tools, the things he kicks the ball with. So surely worth a little bid on that one. What a Christmas present that would make as well. Just a couple of weeks to go. 01415652468. Call us right now. The same number to get the signed Lewis Ferguson Bologna strip. It's a cracker, really nice. Got it sitting next to me here as well. And of course the chance to play golf with Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell send you up to Mar Hall. Even the 4-ball at Mar Hall must be worth what, a couple £100 you would imagine.
Yeah.
And then you get the pleasure of hearing Gordon Dalziel's stories as you walk around, if that's the right word for it. Give us a call with your bids on that one, please. 0141 565 2468. I'll let you get them in right now, and we'll talk football when we return.
This is the Clyde One Super Scoreboard Cash for Kids Sports Auction. We need your support. 0141 565 2468.
Hugh Keevins, Cammy Bell and Gordon Dalziel are here. It's 01419511025 if you want to talk football. But we've got the Cash for Kids Sports Auction as well. And I really, really need to go and hammer this message because you're running out of time on our all-day prizes. We've had these ticking along for ages. The most important one, because it's the most accessible to almost everybody, is the brand new car. I can't think of any reason whatsoever that you would not like the sound of a £5 donation to Cash for Kids and winning a brand new car as a result. Talk about a win-win situation. Text the word car to 84901. Lines close at 6 o'clock tonight. Donated by Arnold Clark. It's a brand new JQ5 and you're giving a £5 to charity. There is no downside. In terms of a more traditional auction item, the Andy Murray signed memorabilia, a racket from when he won Wimbledon for the first time in 2013, tennis balls, pictures, a wonderful display case that's worth a few £100 in its own right. That's sitting at £3,300 by David Kerner. You've got 35 minutes to wrestle that away from him. And a signed Scotland shirt signed by the squad that got us to the USA next summer, £1,300 from an anonymous bidder so far. Hugh Keevins, we're nearly there.
Yeah, and it's all bubbling away nicely. There's life in Andy Murray yet, as there always was on court, and I suspect that will go to a very handsome figure before 6 o'clock.
I've also got the 5 until 6 p.m. items in front of me, literally, because the first one is the chance to play golf with Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell. Now, it's a 4-ball at Mar Hall, so do the arithmetic. The 4-ball at Mar Hall costs you a couple of £100 anyway. You're then paying for the privilege of playing with Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell, and it's for the kids anyway. So surely we really appreciate the generosity shown already by Thomas Sinclair at £200. I think we can squeeze more out of that. We're just trying to come up with something to give even more money to the children late on. Signed Bologna top by Lewis Ferguson. I can see John Mullen has sneaked in with a starting bid on that one. I think we're up at, is it £50 there from John? Let's see if we can get more out of that by the end. And an anonymous bid for the Andy Robertson boots. I've actually got them in front of me, right? So again, arithmetic time. These Nike Phantom boots are worth a couple of £100, right, to buy.
Yep.
That's the way it is these days. It's a mad market compared to what it used to be. Then add the fact that they are match worn by Andy Robertson. So I know people collect these types of things. That adds another bit to the price. Add to the fact it's got a nice wee Scotland flag on the side of it.
Oh, sure.
And last but not least, signed by the man himself, a man who's on course to be Scotland's all-time record caps holder. First captain to take the men's team to a World Cup since 98, Champions League winner, English Premier League winner. His match-worn signed boots. There's an anonymous bid of 500, which we greatly appreciate. I think it's worth more. So you've got half an hour left on all of the above. 0141 565 2468. Let's go back to the phones and talk football though with Brian in Barmulloch. Hi Brian.
Yeah.
What are you thinking tomorrow?
Honestly, I think we're going to get beat. I'm just judging it on the last performance against St Mirren, where it took Cal McGregor that wallop of a goal. The other point, there's 2 points, is the tactics board at the dugout. I think people are just going absolutely mental. It's used everywhere. Obviously, people don't see it because the cameras are zoomed into it. But if the cameras aren't zoomed into that, then people wouldn't have been making a big fuss. And basically, it's about the transfer window. I think he's going to need at least about 8 players for his system. The players that he's playing now, with Luke McCowan, he's playing him in the wing, which I've never really thought he was a winger. He sees me a midfielder. A lot of the players, like I think Rio Hatate and Dyson, they two are halfway out the door at the moment because they only put a performance on when they feel like putting it on. And I've got every faith in Wilfred Nancy, but he's got to be given a chance, and the board have got to seriously back him, because if they don't back him in January, then that's going to add fuel to the fire, and then it's a case that they'll be wanting the board sacked as usual, and they'll be wanting Nancy out the door, which I've been on YouTube with some of the Celtic things, and some of the fans already are wanting them out the door, which I think is just absolutely disgraceful. Give the guy a chance.
Just a couple of things. Luke McCowan, to be fair, had been playing wide under Martin O'Neill, and now Wilfred Nancy hasn't started him in any of the two games. But whether he plays tomorrow is another thing.
The other point, Brian, you said you had every faith in Wilfred Nancy, but clearly no faith in him tomorrow because you think Celtic will lose.
It's all hyped up, and it's no that it's the players. It's he's saying that. What his interviews, he's saying they're doing well in the training ground. But I think the players, I don't know if it's maybe like they're nervous or because they've not played with 3-4-3 in a long time. I think that the players are kind of like, It's I have faith in them. It's just the players. They seem to be like, as if they don't know what they're doing on the pitch, but yet he seems to be saying that they're doing well. He sees good.
Well, he himself has denied that following what Evan Ferguson said, the Roma Irish international, who said that he got the impression that some players didn't know what they were doing on Thursday night. Wilfred Nancy has denied that. However, Brian is representative of a lot of Celtic fans who are approaching Hampden tomorrow with little or no confidence and are extremely wary of St Mirren. And I think that's based on the fact that there's a mediocrity about Celtic. I repeat, Yang, Balikwisha, Tunekti. There's really just mediocrity there, and they're unfortunate because good players are in the treatment room and can't play. But I think there is a genuine feeling of apprehension about the Celtic support tomorrow, and Stephen Robinson at St Mirren can't come out and publicly say what a chance we've got, but privately he'll be saying what a chance we've got.
I just want to ask on that, Gordon, I think the most common mindset is the one that Brian displayed there, saying look how hard it's been to beat St Mirren, it's been really close, and therefore they've got a good chance of winning tomorrow.
Hampden.
Is there any way you can spin it and say even though these games have been close, Celtic always got over the line in them, and that's a good thing for Celtic?
Yeah, because it's a cup final and it's Hampden, and I know that obviously the last cup final they were really dreadful on the day, but you would still favour Celtic to get in there as favourites. But if I was St Mirren just now, looking at what's happening and all the focus on the manager, on the board, the team playing in maybe a different formation that they're not used to, I'd be looking thinking this is probably one of the best chances you're going to get in a cup final, because you would go into that game well underdogs. I would imagine that Celtic still are the favourites, but percentage wise I wouldn't say it was a massive gap. Would I be surprised if St Mirren pulled off a win tomorrow? Probably wouldn't, but I still fancy Celtic, and I don't care what formation they play. If their players step up to the mark and play to their capabilities, they will win the game.
Yeah, listen, there's no getting away from it. Celtic are favourites, but what St Mirren will see is a vulnerability about them at this moment in time. There's a lot of question marks over the managers just came in the door. There's a lot of frustration towards the board. Their players are underperforming as well, and that's one of the big things for me. They've not been playing to the levels they can play to. If they find them levels tomorrow, they will win the game, because for me, Celtic do have a better team than St Mirren. No disrespect to St Mirren, but again, what Stephen Robinson has got to cling on to is that they're in a poor bit of form at the moment. There's a lot of frustration there, and they've got to play on that vulnerability.
So Brian's a Celtic fan who thinks they'll lose tomorrow, or fears they'll lose. Andy, are you as down about it or a bit more confident?
Let's go first to 1-5-0.
Oh wow.
Listen, no, I think I genuinely mean that. If Celtic score first, I think in any of the games that they've played under the new system, if they score first, they'll be in a lot more comfortable position. Certainly with St Mirren, the shape that we play, I don't know if the current managers come up against teams with that low block, as people call, so it would be very difficult if we lose a goal. I know Roma didn't do that, but St Mirren could if they went ahead. So I think if Celtic score first, they'll win. If St Mirren score first, If you want a prediction, I'd say go extra time. Listen, my point here is there's a couple of things we said this week about, I know it's sensationalism, and Hugh will deny it, but he does do that sometimes. He said earlier on in the week that if Celtic lose to Hearts and then they lose the cup final and they lose to Rangers in a couple of weeks, the manager can lose his job. The last time we played Rangers at Celtic Park, we lost the game. The last cup final we were in, we lost, and the last time we played Hearts before that, the manager came in, we lost that as well. My point on this, right, is that, Gordon, you probably won't remember, but I was one of the first callers to phone up and say that I was very concerned about the timing for Wilfred Nancy coming in. I thought there would be jeopardy, and because of the schedule of fixtures, I thought it might be sensible to hold back until January. Because anybody coming in and putting that system in, there's going to be a time before the players take to it. But what I'm going to say is I think he's been let down a wee bit, and I think there's a sort of a silver lining to what I'm going to say here. Because if you look at the squad the Celtic's got, there's players in the building that in that shape that the guy plays could be sensational. And I'll read it out to you very, very quickly, right? Schmeichel, Trusty, Carter Vickers, and at the moment Donovan in the back three. Johnston on the right hand side, Tierney on the left hand side, Maeda and McGregor in the middle. McGregor and Hatai in the middle, with Maeda and Jota in the 10 behind Iheanacho. That team with those players will be effective within that system. Where the silver lining might come to, the board that there's been a lot of criticism for, they've put themselves a wee bit behind the black ball now, because they need to have big investment in January. They need to go and get the players that this guy wants, because Roma the other night, they took off 4 players, they replaced them with 4 players that were as good or better. Celtic don't have that. I just said a good team that we have if everybody's fit. But our subs should be as good. They should be challenging. Where I will agree with you, he said earlier on about the players we've got being substandard. They ain't good enough. And see in that system, see if you're 1 weak link in that system, it can kill you. So I think tomorrow if Celtic score first, we'll win comfortably. If we don't, it could be a long day.
Well, I'll address your hypothetical team first of all. That team couldn't play this season because Carter Vickers has been told that he won't play again this season.
I think Andy knows that, to be fair. He's just sort of dreaming, I guess.
With regard to the charge of sensationalism, I am saying what Celtic supporters are saying, that a cup final loss would be a watershed moment in their eyes. Were Celtic to lose to Rangers, and who knows what damage they might sustain in between the cup final and the Rangers game, then there would be a build-up of pressure where Wilfred Nancy is concerned, and I'm not sure he could survive it. Take
Andy's point. So if Brendan Rodgers lost a cup final, right? Now the reason,
but he won a double.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The reason he doesn't get sacked for that is because he's got goodwill in the tank, right? But to be fair, Wilfred Nancy has nothing in the tank, neither good nor bad, because he's just in the door. So does it not actually bring you back to the same sort of thought process? You're not going to sack Brendan Rodgers after one cup final defeat because he's done so much good before. Similarly, how can you sack a guy after one cup final defeat who's no the chance to do anything before?
Yeah, I'm all for. They brought him in. And I think the biggest problem is because of what Martin O'Neill was achieving, right? And they brought him in. He's not got off to a good start. He's got a cup final, and if Celtic don't win that, I totally agree with you. I don't think he'll need to wait to the Rangers game. I think by Monday, if he doesn't win the cup, I'm not saying he's got to get that, but Monday, if he doesn't win the cup final, I think we'll be inundated with phone calls from Celtic fans to get him out.
Yeah, but we've actually got those calls already. We've got calls already, and it's weird.
A larger volume, Gordon, I'm saying. Now, I am not saying, because I've already stated that you have got to give the guy an opportunity. He's come into 2 big games, hard games, right? He's changed the formation. He's probably working with not the greatest Celtic team that we've seen for a long time. I know they've got injuries to key players. He's not even had a transfer window to bring in the quality. Maybe he brings in the players that all of a sudden just changes everything for him. So we've not seen that yet from him. So I think even if he loses a cup final, he's got to get stick, of course he is, but to sack him, I think would be very unfair.
Let me use your modern day word. The narrative among the Celtic supporters is that the board, or whether it was Dermot Desmond, with or without consulting the board, have thought left field appointment. But for the Celtic support, to left field, the Celtic board and or Dermot Desmond are thinking, we're thinking out the box here, outside the box. The Celtic support are saying too far outside the box.
But the one thing that's must have made an impact here is the results Martin O'Neill was getting, Cammy, because over the other side of the city, Rangers changed their manager. Danny Rule has come in, and every single bad result that Danny Rule gets, every Rangers fan pretty much says none of this is on the manager. He inherited a squad that was underperforming all season. He's not had the chance to sign his own players, and he's not had the chance to put his own imprint in the team. This is not on the manager. Yet after 2 games, it appears to all be on the Celtic manager for some people. So why is that if it's not simply because of the way Martin O'Neill picked up in between? It must be that.
Yeah, but listen, he's came in and we knew he was coming in at a difficult period because he was playing Hearts, who are sitting top of the table, so they're a very good team. There's no getting away from that. And then he faces Roma, who are a top European side as well. So there were always going to be 2 difficult games. I think tomorrow is the game that he should definitely win. And again, that's why I think there's a lot of pressure. If he loses tomorrow, will he get sacked? No, not for me, because I think that's then the board have got to come out and say we've made the wrong decision. I don't think they will, but listen, we've touched on it. There's a hugely important period before that Rangers game that he needs to navigate his way, but tomorrow's huge for him.
Thank you very much to Andy. This is your 5-minute warning. We will end the last set of auction items in 5 minutes time. You've got a little bit longer on the all day prizes, is that right? Yeah, you've got till 6 o'clock on the all day prizes, or maybe just before, so we can round it off. That's the Andy Murray memorabilia, of course, and the signed Scotland strip, and to text in to win the brand new car. But this is your 5-minute warning on the 4-ball at Marhall with Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell. £1,000 that's sitting at. You two must be popular. The bad news for you though, it's an anonymous bidder, so we don't know who you're playing with.
No, we need
could be
names.
some absolute lunatic. I'm only joking, I'm sure they're not. The Lewis Ferguson signed top Andrew Huntston's getting that at the moment for £120, bit of a bargain. And another anonymous bid, the signed match worn Andy Robertson boots sitting at £500. You've got 5 minutes to turn that all around. 01415652468.
0141 565 2468. The Cash for Kids Sports Auction on Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Into the final part of today's Clyde One Super Scoreboard, and it's heating up. I've got the live document in front of me. I can see it changing all the time on the auction. The all day prizes, you've still got 15 minutes on them. These close officially at 6 o'clock. The Andy Murray memorabilia has just gone up to 3,500 thanks to Paul McLaughlin. The signed Scotland shirt has sat at 1,300 for a while. Can we make a late run on that? This is the team that got Scotland to a first men's World Cup since 1998. They are history makers already, and just imagine they go and make a go of it over in America next summer. Let's try and get a bit more out of that. And of course, the one that everybody can get involved in. Don't miss out on this just because you forgot to send the text. You've got 15 minutes. Get your phone out right now. I'm going to properly patronise you here. Open up the messages, text the word car to 84901. That donates £5 to Cash for Kids, but thanks to Arnold Clark, you could be winning a brand new JQ5 worth well over £20,000. It is a win-win situation. So let's get involved in them in the last 15 minutes. The lines are now closed on the final batch of items of our hourly lots, which were the Andy Robertson boots. They've gone for £750 thanks to Gordon Livingston. The Lewis Ferguson sign top gone for 120 to Andrew Huntston. And Gordon Dalziel and Cammy Bell, your standard of golf and your company better be top drawer, because somebody's just paid £1,000 for a game of golf for you two at Marhall.
Well, I can't promise a golf, but the standard of patter will be absolute rubbish.
They said you need to they're only going to pay it if you dress up.
Yes, fine, just tell me what.
There we go. I'm so fascinated by the fact it's an anonymous bidder. Imagine it was one of your ex-wives. Just turns up in the first tee.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Two of them. They've gone 500. 500 each for a 2-ball.
Terrorise them again.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, those are closed. Thank you very much. I'll give you the total before we disappear, but you've still got time. You've got time to boost that total, because the Andy Murray memorabilia and the Scotland top and the text for the car still very much open, so you've got time. Looking forward to tomorrow, of course. We're going to be live at Hampden. Hugh Keevins will be back in the studio with Scott Allen and Andrew McLean. Me, Gordon Dalziel, Marvin Bartley will be out at the ground. Be nice to hear a St Mirren viewpoint if we can. If we've got time to squeeze that in, or anything from today's action. The Motherwell game promised so much and delivered so little. It was Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0. Motherwell's run of clean sheets continues. Dundee United getting maybe a good point against an informed team in the league. But I think the story of the day, funnily enough, was probably the Championship, where Ross County, big spending Ross County in the Premiership last season, lost 6-0 against Wraith Rovers. Partick Thistle lost away to Arbroath. And now we have to wait till Monday for the Rangers game, Cammy.
Yeah. Obviously due to Celtic playing at Hampden tomorrow, but a big game for Rangers. A big game. It'll be a good test for them. Hibs will be coming to Ibrox fancying their chances, so it's going to be an intriguing one.
Luke, as a Motherwell fan, what did you make of it today, Luke?
I thought the game was pretty poor from Motherwell's end, to be honest. I thought defensively we were pretty sound, but going forward I thought we were a wee bit lacklustre, to be honest. I feel like we need a new number 9 up there. I feel like we just need a goal scorer. Somebody can just put the ball, can find the back of the net and score.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, Stamatopoulos is one of the top scorers in the league. Most of them have come from the penalty spot. Him and Callum Hendry tend to share the number 9 slot, Cammy. You can see where Luke's coming from. 1, 2, 3, is it 5 clean sheets in a row for Motherwell?
Yeah.
For all the silky soccer, that's been the most impressive bit. The hardest bit was always going to be putting the ball in the back of the net. Teams are sitting in. You go away to Tannadice, away to a team that finished as high as they did last season, with a bigger budget than you and so on, and Motherwell have 70% of the ball. So teams are going to make it difficult for you, and you need to try and find the breakthrough.
Listen, and that's just a measure of where Motherwell have got to this season. That again, they're going up to Tannadice and they're disappointed with a draw. Teams are having to find a way of stopping Motherwell getting the victory. We've seen that in recent weeks as well. Teams setting up against them, that trying to frustrate them and making Motherwell unlock their defences. So it's all new to Motherwell. This is all new to Motherwell, and I think yes, when you look at the top end of the pitch, potentially it can get better, and they might be looking at that in January. But I've said this before, I feel the beauty of Motherwell is that the goals can come from anywhere. There's a number of players within different positions, and the style of play that they play, the goals can come from anywhere. And I think the clean sheet thing for me is massive. If they can keep doing that between now and the end of the season, they'll be in such a good position. It's the basis of having a really good team, is keeping clean sheets, good defensive record, and allow your attacking players to go and win the game.
Mercedes Jens has created a new mindset here, because Motherwell tonight 1 point above Rangers in third place in the Premiership table, and Luke is not happy.
No, I think he's happy, but it just shows you how far Motherwell's game. Listen, Luke's right. If Motherwell had a out and out poacher goal scorer, they'd be sitting nearly top of the league, never mind in third.
See, on that, right, I'm now kind of contradicting myself, because it's not just Stamatopoulos. We said that because he's the number 9. He's got 6 league goals and Maswanisi's got 8. Scoring goals isn't a problem in terms of the numbers. Motherwell have got 25 so far. That's the same as Celtic. Hearts have 32, so Hearts out in front on that. Rangers have only got 22, but they've played 2 games fewer than Motherwell. So, because I'm the same as Luke, I feel like they're maybe missing a wee bit of a cutting edge in the final third.
Well, has Motherwell got a player in the ranks that's going to get you 20 goals this season? Probably not, I would say.
No, but Maswanisi would be as on course as anybody else in the league.
Yeah, but I would reckon that nobody in Motherwell will get you 20 goals.
I know, hold on though, but Theo Bair did, or there or thereabouts. Kevin Van Veen did, there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
But those teams weren't as good as this team.
Right.
So you've one guy that scores those goals. Like, this is a Motherwell.
But those teams aren't keeping the clean sheets that this team are keeping.
But that's
as well.
what I'm saying. But it's going to be hard to get everything. So at the moment, Motherwell sit third. So what do you want? Do you want to get?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think you need to. Yes, you would love to have a guy up there that's going to get you, guarantee you 20 odd, 25 goals, and that would be a huge difference maker. But what I believe that Motherwell have got, they've got a few guys that can stick the ball in the back of net from different positions, and I think it's just the way that they play as well. There's so many rotations, there's so much movement within their team, the midfielders are getting beyond strikers, so I think the goals can come from anywhere. So listen, I wouldn't be too disappointed with a 0-0 draw up at Tannadice today.
Thank you very much to Luke on the line. Luke, not a concerned Motherwell fan, but just wants another
greedy fan.
No, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. Want a wee bit more because your expectations rise and so on. How do we see the league leaders getting on away at Falkirk at 8 o'clock tonight?
I see them winning because I think Derek McInnes will have hammered it into his players that there's no point in beating Celtic one weekend and losing to Falkirk the next weekend. This is a major chance for Hearts to extend their lead at the top. Rangers Hibs, a tricky game for them on Monday, and then Celtic after the cup final, and who knows what will happen there. They're away to Dundee United, so this could be a big week for Hearts if they do their job properly tonight.
I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a good footballing game. Sell-out crowd probably, good atmosphere. I'm with Hugh a little bit. I think if you're going to go and do the difficult job at Celtic Park, you've got to follow it up tonight with 3 points. But Falkirk will certainly make it a game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a difficult game, and again the weather's going to play a part. We know Falkirk Stadium's an open stadium, so it'll be windy, so it'll be all about getting the ball on the ground and playing football, which might suit Falkirk. We know like to move the ball about, but I just feel as if Hearts are going to be a little bit too strong for them tonight.
And final thoughts on the cup final? I mean, we'll hear your final thoughts tomorrow, but before you go to bed tonight, before you go to the rugby,
before I go to the rugby, which I'm looking forward to, I'm still favouring on, as much as he's under pressure, the new manager of Celtic to lift his first trophy tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well. I think Celtic will get over the line tomorrow.
I think they will, because I find it inconceivable they could lose 2 cup finals from May to December back to back. I say that Celtic will get it with no strong sense of conviction, because I think St Mirren have a real chance. It's going to be a fascinating afternoon, one that you won't be able to take your eyes away from.
But arguably, more importantly than all of that, is the Cash for Kids sports auction, and it is almost over. A couple of things to tell you about. The silent auction runs until 12 p.m. on Monday, so there is still loads of time. Head on over to our website, because there's some brilliant prizes on there that I've not really had the chance to mention yet. Some top prizes on there, and some of them going for a bit of a bargain at the moment as well. So head over there and check that out. You do still have 5 minutes on our all-day prizes. That is the Andy Murray memorabilia that's now sitting at £5,000. Thank you to David Kerner. And an anonymous bid for the Scotland signed strip sitting at £1,700. You've still got 5 minutes for that, but the one I just want to keep hammering, because everybody can do it. Come on, 5 minutes left. Get the phone out. Text the word car to 84901. A £5 donation to Cash for Kids, and there's a brand new JQ5 that you could be driving away. Please get involved in that, and we'll see how much we can raise before the end of the weekend. As things stand, I usually say that about league tables, but as things stand on the auction, we are sitting at £52,442. That is absolutely wonderful. We thank you so much for that effort. It really is so generous. We really, really appreciate it. But the good thing is, we still got 5 minutes left to make a difference. If we add more to the Andy Murray memorabilia, we add more to the Scotland strip, we add more to the text on the brand new car, and of course the silent auction, when we come back on Monday, I hope that number is even higher. But 52,442 for now. Thank you so much. It will mean the world to children right here in our communities that need your help. That's why we do it. Hugh Keevins always sums it up best when he says, we wish we didn't have to, but we do, and thanks to you we've made a real difference.
Can I say 2 things to you? Thank you for letting me honour my brother, and secondly, Bruni, I'm coming.
No, we've actually the text in from Scott Brown, who's bid £5,000 for you to stay away. So there we go. Thank you very, very much to all of you. So much generosity. It's quite humbling actually when we see it every year. Still 5 minutes for you to do even more. Enjoy the rest of your night. Gordon Dalziel will. He's off to get hospitality at the rugby.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Here I come.
And the GBX is up next.
Abandon your turkey. Rip your knitted jumper from your chest. The festive double bucket from $20.99. 6 pieces of original recipe chicken, 6 mini fillets, 2 large gravy, 4 regular fries, 1 large bottled drink. Get the deal, believe in chicken. Until the 4th of Jan, subject to availability. Participating restaurants only. See kfc.co.uk for T's and C's.